side of the map.
We talked about that utility over on the desk, and we're saying Fnatic have so much util to go and take those fights.
Heidi's super clever tech helps you find their best ski holiday deals from over 300 ski resorts. Search for exactly.
Not the case though. They're walking into a full stack. Not a bad start though. Cortezia is going to get the opener.
Yeah, they've come in, drawn first blood. Now the pressure mounting for Fnatic. The remaining players on the site though still have plenty of backup. It's a messy fight for Kayak, and he goes down with the punish right after Crash. He's managing one, and Alfie are still flying under the radar, but he used his util earlier. They'll know that he's here. Finding the players a different story, but MIBR making a good job of it. But then Chronicles flying comes through.
Nice.
A pain in the side as MIBR find only one left, and Alpha's there to clean it up. Fnatic, they made the read early. The push-up from Kron gave them the info, and the stack proved too strong to crumble.
Yeah, honestly, from the position that they walked into, it didn't go too badly for MIBR. Like, I thought they were going to get slaughtered on entry. Like, you walk into a stack of 4 players with one flanking you, but it was that flank that sort of dealt the final blow. Most already out of his
The pistol round.
My son, my young boy.
Nice!
I don't know how bad it is. Stream quality wise.
A little bit of pause to the action. Some issues with the
Seems
in-ears,
alright.
but hopefully that will quickly be resolved. Someone else I want to talk
Just have
about,
to
like we
put
talked
up
about
with.
the highs of the last game. You said it, Aspas Verno. I think the Boaster and Chronicle, but it was Kayak. There was a little bit of a surprise for me. A very underwhelming first match within the server. I think if they are going to be a challenge for the whole tournament, a contender, he needs to be on point. Especially when they've been at their best. This guy has been, well, people have said, oh, well, he replaced Durka, but he's already outdone him. He's already gone past. And, well, we had Durka up here on the cast desk, so I'm not going to say that's true, but at least when it comes to champions, thus far, it's not really been the case. So I think especially going head-to-head with, I guess in this case, not just Aspas, but also Artsin, he needs to prove that, okay, I am that guy. I can take over games.
Yeah, I mean, EMEA viewers have definitely seen that face to Kayak,
100%.
but on the international stage, here at global events, it's not being the same. For him, maybe one of the biggest challenges is, I look at MIBR and we say, okay, well, for Fnatic to touch base again, Boaster, unbelievable. Life game on Abyss. Chronicle, the consistent factor, and if you've ever seen a global event, you know that. But for MIBR, we know that Aspas and Verno are not the kind of guys who are going to take the foot off the pedal. That's all gas, no brakes. And so for Kayak, you know, already having a poor debut, there's a lot of pressure on him to show up here, and it ain't going to be easy to make that bounce back happen. But we know he's got the level.
Yeah, and I think that's always been the good thing with Fnatic in general is you have so much depth of talent. Like, we haven't even mentioned Alfie yet, but everybody knows what he can do on an international stage. So I don't think it's like... The good thing for Fnatic is they still managed to win without him necessarily being at his best. But again, we're looking at the overall tournament. I think in this match, when you have someone like Aspas, who we already know can be the best player in any server, that's the head-to-head I'm going to be looking at. Of course, it is only our pistol done, but we are going to be getting back into the match nice and quickly as the timer begins to count down. And obviously for MIBR in this round, the main talking point is going to be damage. Can you drop any of those guns? Or in this case, mostly SMGs.
Oh, good Botsky.
Interesting as well, Boaster was on his feet in that pistol. The only one not to secure a kill. You got to have the confidence even when it ain't going your way. Love to see it.
Only
It's like
at
trash talking only when you win.
zhan.com.
It's not really trash talking,
No,
is
you
it?
got to
Hey,
be
all good, bro.
consistent with it. And he certainly is. Well, as you said, MIBR, they come in with next to nothing. Up against a lot of SMGs. It's a
Holy kick.
line that gives Fnatic
Everyone, there's only been like maybe 3 or 4 people from Kick that have actually spoken to me that are human. Everyone else is just a bot.
For Chronicle, he's under a lot of pressure though. Getting hit by that
Yes.
season with the reload underway for Crashies. He couldn't quite help out. From here, well, I was going to say it'll be difficult to find more impact for MIBR with numbers for Fnatic. You can see Kayak's here to back up his buddy, but Crashies has been hit pretty low. There's still a chance for this to become a costly round if Fnatic aren't careful, and that's why you see this quite timid approach to denying the plant.
And MIBR actually playing this well. They're trying to bait in any of that additional utility. Try and maybe force someone to make a mistake, reveal a position.
TP option.
They could, yeah, back out of this if they wanted to. There is now nobody on the other side of the map, although both salvos are online to potentially try and deny a more valuable plant spot, but
30 seconds
Instead,
left.
just selling a ruse that maybe they've left. Try and get some players to peak more aggressively. But Fnatic are being patient themselves.
Yeah, even just creating that
Oh.
gap, though. It's worked out so far for MIBR, being able to get boots on the ground to back site, but with 14 seconds left and Fnatic finding another, this is looking increasingly unlikely, but there we go.
They knew
Different
about the
plant position,
salvos.
ends up dodging the salvos. Verno finds Boaster. Remember, Crashies is still very, very low, and he'll fall at Verno's hands. This is already a great round for MIBR, and a chance to build even further. The snake bite down doesn't quite catch Kayak at the edge of the spike, and well, you can see the gamble is that he wouldn't stick it with that utility in play. A slight
Wake up, bro. What you
missed
doing?
piece ends up costing them further damage, but still,
It's not bad.
3 kills from that position. I don't think they can be unhappy with that.
The 3 kills in a plant. It also means that going into this next round, you're unlikely to have any of the light shields from the few extra credits that you garnered. And the other thing as well is that normally you see those rounds where it's like, okay, the 2 players had a pistol, some had rifles. For Fnatic, that wasn't the case. It was a singular rifle, and then the rest were mostly SMGs. So they're still not going to have a particularly good bonus. But on a map like this,
I wonder
you are
when
gonna
Aspas is
have
gonna
opportunities, especially with
log
a
in.
lot of these close range fights, these tight angles that can definitely work for those weaker guns.
Already making good use of the early aggression on Fnatic. Kayak covering that bit of space towards bathroom, allowing Crashies to pick up the orb. Now 1 away from the Nightfall. Quite a few weaknesses. The fruit of their labor on MIBR in the previous round. It'll be a slow default, as this can't be one that they throw away. Fnatic are saving up that money for the next. They'll have a full buy, as you'd expect. But in a lot of rounds, you'll see like 2, 3, maybe even 4 rifles brought in by the team that's 2-0 up. With these weaknesses, has to be a round that the attacking side secure.
Well, yeah, the main thing will be gambling on positions. A gate crash taken.
Yeah, good shot.
Zia already adding 1 and a nice double opener in towards that A site. The spike, though, is heading in the other direction, and with Alfia being spotted, I can only assume that that TP must be considered. Walking back into where the rifle is would be risky, but now winning that fight makes all the difference. Verno putting Alfia in the dirt, and nearly all the danger of this round are dissipated. It is still Chronicle, it is still a Sheriff, but I think from this point onwards, maybe even just dying to the spike is the right call.
With 2 players towards the A site, I agree with you. You know, a lot of the time you'll see teams go for the TP before those 2 kills come in on B, but when it's Aspas and Verno who've walked all the way up and long and they know they have 1 rifle, second guy probably doesn't. They're pretty confident they'll take that fight every time. For Chronicle, okay, it's a rifle picked up. Chance for further damage, starting to build. Rotate from Verno.
He knows,
He's gonna
man, he
challenge
knows,
him
he
in
knows.
TP, but this is exactly what Chronicle's expecting. Sees has caught him. Door open, and well, it's not going to be quite so simple a play. Not running blindly into the TP instead.
I like it.
Allowing the players outside to fight through the door. Lovely. 2-1 now. MIBR with a pretty decent round 3.
Yeah, it's about the minimum you want to be bringing through. The 3 rifles kept, so you're going to be able to come back in with a solid purchase. Operator already being put onto the board by Fnatic as well. Kayak going to try and fight those extremities, of course. When you look at this map, I'd say normally you're going to see some fairly hefty attack sides coming out of Fnatic, but last time they played it, it was also an 8-1 defense, so a map that they feel incredibly comfortable on. And for MIBR, last 2 times they played it, really struggled on that defense. Artsin, though, a sniper of his own and some light shields. In fact, on the majority, that's a huge opener. Response, though.
Ooh. Yeah, doubled up as well. You think once that op fires off that he'll back off. You'll get at least a little bit of space for the life you've traded out instead. Doubling down on the disadvantages with Crashies. Oh, that's a little greedy from Kron. You know, you want to see the jump peek there, grabbing a bit of info, and he goes swinging out wide. Ends up going down to 46. Look, there's still a serious chance, and as you said, the shield's in play. This is a double barrel operator. Chronicle's fallen now on the attempt to cross on backside. Crashies almost losing his life to that outlaw. And it's Sheenom up top to drop him. The spike back under MIBR's control. They don't know it yet, but they're not even looking that way. Fighting for every inch of ground on this site. And the outlaw really stealing the day for that attacking side. I think Kayak's already called for the save, and
Yeah.
With an AWP, it's no surprise.
30 seconds left.
Huge round coming out from Shannon. Just being able to find 2 fairly impactful kills, and you can see they're still a little bit wary.
They saw him get ult online, so they should know that he was towards B long not that long ago. So that piece of information should be in play. But obviously, with the gate crash, you never know. He could be close to site.
Could have gone back to spawn, could have rotated, but they should also know that the operator's online with him getting that opening pick, so it is just going to be the save. And for MIBR, of course, their economy's not in an awful spot, but it's not at a stage just yet where they want to be trying to hunt down every single one of these weapons, try and run down that operator and risk losing their own economy. Instead, they will just be TPing out of there at the last second, just wanting to make sure there's no cheeky plays being attempted by Kayak. And MIBR already are going to put themselves 2 on that board. That said, though, the expectation is they need to have a fairly solid attack side, especially with this comp.
Well, certainly a good start, winning that round number 4. Picking apart this defensive side. Every peak they went for punished, and I do think the Outlaw playing such a big role, they can't even trade shots. So once that first bullet lands with light shields and some players stripped low,
This might get rough.
it's an easy conversion. Now MIBR, they come into this round and they know they're up against an AWP. They know that was carried through, but for the most part, it is very little danger. And what danger there is can be very easily avoided. All thanks to that Yoru ultimate being activated. Never mind. Artson has gone down. Chronicle finds 1. That's a weapon retrieved for Crashies. With the Nightfall in effect, MIBR, I mean, they're not even back to starting positions. Obviously a man down, but look at where Aspas is.
That's the trouble. He also got hit by the ult, so it's not like this is a massive surprise. The worst thing that can happen to you in this sort of round is ending up being isolated, and I'm looking at the position of the spike. It's very far away from the rest of the troops. Like just making a lurk play, maybe checking if there's any sort of flank, but it definitely feels like a bit of a gamble. Crashies as well, already managing to add another to the death toll, and Aspas, he's kind of stuck in the mud, but still manages to get 2. A quick double to make this round look a lot more palatable.
Fnatic haven't yet shown their hand. 35 seconds, and the AWP is still on this A site. They know about Alfier. Soon they'll know about Kayak as well. That position spotted. Aspas thinking about the deep swing. It's all down to the shot, and it's Aspas to hit it! His 3rd of the round! This man was isolated, caught by a Nightfall, but he became Fnatic's nightmare. The 3rd round looking locked in already. Aspas will finally be put to bed, but it's too little too late, surely. A rifle retrieved for Alpha, but he's all alone. They know where he is. The time is ticking, and not in his favor. And with 2 players to root out, and no information on where they've gone, he has to choose blindly. Choosing wisely out of the question. And as you can see, as you can hear, time is ticking away. He is trying to bait them into a fight. They've seen he's not defusing, but he's isolated 1 as a result. Alpha playing this masterfully, but the clock, his biggest enemy, if not the shots from the other side. A 3-2 scoreline locked in for MIBR. They're showing some serious resilience early on Pine.
That round was all Aspas in the end. The way it started off, Chronicle does well. The second pick taking down Shenum as well. It made things so difficult. And you look at where that utility is put into place. It's basically just to disrupt everything Aspas is trying to do. But while walking backwards, he just manages to dome one of the players. We talk about this guy in terms of having that highest peak of skill, but at this round you can almost single-handedly attribute to him.
Without a doubt. Again, the fact that he's able to have so much impact isolated in lamps when the AWP is sitting around as well. It's even holding the angle that he swings wide on. But he's just too quick on the trigger, and a timeout called by Fnatic as they are certainly feeling that pressure mount early on. And as you said, MIBR, they need a good attack side. But for Fnatic, they've had a few chances to already make that a complicated affair. Those chances not capitalized on.
Dragon 5 days already. Can I stream on fucking TikTok?
Won't be happy with.
Yeah, I think as well this is a round where
Nobody cares,
I
bro.
kind of look at it and go, okay, you got the advantage. There's a part of you that thinks maybe you can just hold, but the way they played that, I'm not mad. Like the salvos, they knew where he was. The salvos were put in to actually just go, okay, you've now got to move. It's just that Aspas still hits that shot, and that's always that characteristic of like, if you started to stop peaking because he's doing that, you've lost. Like, you've already lost the game. But at the same time, if he's going to keep doing stuff like that, you may need to adapt.
Well, the barrier's going up on a buy round for Fnatic. Big ulti's online. Kayak's had that dimensional drift for a while, but he has a big challenge coming. Heavy traffic. About to swing right into him. In fact, not swinging. Walking up inside the wall, he spotted one, and he gets out for free. That's a beautiful opener for Fnatic. The response is Showstopper fired through. Aspis doesn't find his mark with it, though. He won't even get Lambs for free. Still has to brawl Chronicle, who is forced back, seized in position. He can no longer hold on to control there. But Fnatic don't need to with the man advantage. That's quickly faded away, though. MIBR, they're rolling all over this A site.
Grenade is live.
Yeah, what? Cortesia's just having one hell of a round. Like, again, this was Fnatic in the right place at the right time. They had a stack up. Look at where. Well, look at the blue X's on the map around the A site. It wasn't like they were fighting alone. It was just that the duels being won by MIBR. The only one going the way of Fnatic is that opener that took down the Yoru, the player that's supposed to gather you up the space. Even the Showstopper did nothing. And well, for Boaster, you question the potential of that flash in the pan performance. It's not been the same, and the timing couldn't be any worse. It was actually mentioned on the desk by Sue that sometimes he gets caught in utility. That was almost comedic timing.
Why do we need to smoke or do anything on the fucking exit, bro? You just stand there and wait.
Early on here. You know, the Showstopper, as well as you said, it didn't find anything. It got them space. But even then, they had to brawl for that space.
Kind of make this shit up, man.
Fnatic backed off. They respected it. They avoided the immediate response, but
that's like something he does all the time, man.
It didn't make a difference.
He's playing so good the other day.
Flyer, by the way. 8-2. Playing on that Viper.
Nice.
Jenna, maybe not quite so lucky. That's an immediate pick for Alfia. Bear in mind, the only rifle currently on the board, but Verno's reaction is almost immediate. That advantage hasn't lasted for long. Kayak realizing this
they're on the site,
one
man.
He wanted to take.
They got sight.
Once again, MIBR patient. They know that those salvos are likely to be coming. This time, though, a little bit too late to disrupt that plant.
Well, yeah, was sent to the corner to push Aspis out in the open. A decision they might be regretting now.
Yeah, this could be a loss for Fnatic, like, I'm not gonna lie. Just for this fucking first few rounds.
He's feeling greedy. No surprise. The weaponry advantage starkly in favor of that attacking side. Verno highlighting it with Chronicle all alone. He'll at least find one. Aspis is low, although I don't think you're going to win the wallbang fight with that stinger. And he's been taken down by Verno. Verno and Aspis both firing through some terrain to take him out of the play. It's 5-2. MIBR lights out starting this map. Remember, Fnatic won the pistol, the follow-up, and nothing ever since.
Have you ever seen a kill through that wall? I feel like I've not seen it actually work.
With a node, like, absolutely, but yeah,
this is just
rare.
I've never seen it with a Vandal before.
Obviously he knows he's there, but it's just the confidence that he currently has at the moment, and that trifecta at the top of the board. Verno, Cortesia, and Aspas. Not what you wanted to see if you're a Fnatic fan. Early Viper's Pit to lock down at B long control. But for the majority, it's been the A site hits for MIBR.
I guess the real challenge for MIBR coming into this now. Those ults from Fnatic have been saved up, as the credits have. It's going to be a very strong response. Alpha's got to move quick.
He's out.
But that's just enough space to sneak his way out. In the meantime, though, Crashies through the teleporter and out of the round
Crashies is fucking lost right now as well, man.
They're playing this so well. Just pumping the brakes, finding their advantage, realizing that, of course, with one player TPing, the A side has to be a bit weaker.
2 rounds he's been on autopilot.
And as they've taken their time, the rotate from Kayak, and with his gate crash, he can feel comfortable sticking around on A for a while. But it's come in. He's here with the op. He's holding the ward's bathroom, though. And that Viper Wall will stop him having any impact in shutting down the main body of this force.
Still, plenty of ultimates to play with. That operator in hand A gap being searched for. But corners here again. Nice shot. Will at least find the trade, but that jump up from above needs to be watched for, and instead it's another wallback for Verno. There's not really much the remaining two can do. Bear in mind, Chronicle is still within his pit on the other side of the map, and for Kayak, he's not going to try and retake this solo with an operator. Another round for MIBR, and I want to touch on the mention of the calling, because this is Verno, the 19-year-old American IGL and the Brazilian team that, as of right now, is calling a great game.
If I'm not mistaken as well, didn't they say that during the season he swapped to calling at the start of the round and not mid-rounding? Like, he's been finding his identity in terms of that IGLing, and even coming into this event, we didn't know how it would look, but he is back to full calling, start to finish. He is on Kayak, looking to hunt him down. He's found his prey, but Kayak bites back. The op will be saved, will be carried through, as will Chronicle's rifle. He's been quiet over in his pit on the B site, on B long.
He's chilling
this whole round. Another one up for MIBR. That's 6 in a row. And don't forget, we've already had a time. Oh, we want to see a timeout.
They called it
about now, but
3-2.
Yes, 3-2. And it's been 3 in a row. Since then, it's been advantages found by them and thrown away. Or in fact, I wouldn't even say that. Like, Cortesia been stealing those advantages back at times. And no, like, if you want to have a chance in the second half, you can't really be calling that timeout here. You gotta trust the boys to find those solutions. Alpha already in the TP, and you may bet that MIBR, no, he ain't going anywhere.
I guess the assumption might be that was Kayak. Baiting. That's already as bad of a start. Goes 0-9 for Boaster, by the way. Yet to find his place onto the board. Alpha does strike, but he's running back straight into the arms of another enemy. Shenum waiting, and now here's the TP. Chronicle tries to respond. Will be able to force him out, but the reactive smoke gives cover. Verno, I don't know what's happened there.
I don't know.
Miscommunication, it seems. That's left
what
him
the
out to dry.
MIBR fucking info is all about there, man. They knew Chron came through the TP.
For Fnatic, but they are all isolated.
I don't know how he's not aware of it. He must have thought that the Brimstone was going to catch up. But what the fuck are they doing?
Recovery for Fnatic, it seems. As Artson left alone.
Oh,
shit. And he found one. Over to the rifle. Both players isolated as well, playing opposite sides of this. And he certainly knows
Kayak knows, man. He reads this shit.
Was around that area. But now, of course, he pushed up the long. Oh, it's going to be a deep play from Artson. I like the idea, but Kayak was patiently waiting for it. Finally, a response from Fnatic, breaking the 6-round streak MIBR put on the board.
Yeah, I kind of look at this one, though, as quite a bit of miscommunication. Like, Verno having his back turned. I think it was the same when Shenum died as well. Back turned. The last kill, back turned. Like, this was all players that... Okay, this one, there's no way he could have had the information, but...
That's true.
It seems like they lost control of the map. And of course,
it's like they all fell
Crashies
silent there, man. They
taking
didn't know what to do.
Space in the late round as well, but... It's not what we've seen thus far from MIBR, of course. No problems for them coming back up with a buy still. Having the Viper's Pit, but that has been online for a
that keyboard that, what's his name's using? Is it Cortesia? Cortesia is fucking mental, man. Nice, Chron.
Artson pushing a little before the wall, fully blooms. He will be punished. MIBR, these... Oh, nice spam. These defaults have found them a lot of value in the early round. But in the last, they were spread too thin. It could be the same here. Crashies walking up, and he will get the jump on Cortesia with Verno down as well. This round seems to have no contest from MIBR, bar the little bit of damage done. And now look at the position of Chronicle. He stepped foot on the spike, and he even manages to secure a little bit of space. His teammates rush to his side. There'll be no further fight from him until the numbers are by his side.
Crashies. We'll have a nice. He's won it. That leaves Shenum alone. Other side of the map, and that will be Boaster.
Welcome, Boaster.
To close that one out. A flawless round from Fnatic, and it seems like the success they're finding is off that little bit of aggression. MIBR, when it comes to these early fights together, having these rotations back could look very good, but these last couple of rounds have been a little bit more in terms of the solo fights, and I was just about to say, I wonder if we're about to see a pause out from MIBR. We are.
Yeah, I think just getting a little bit too sloppy there in the early round, offering up picks, going ahead of the wall. peeking wide into the op. And as I said, just being spread that little bit too thin, even getting caught off guard by Crash. He's going for the same push that he did previously. It will be a moment for MIBR to go to the coaching staff, quickly course correct, but already 6 rounds on the board. The thing is, as you highlighted coming into this, Tom, it's the defensive side we have worries about for MIBR. This half ends up 6-6, especially with the strong start that they had. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow when they move to the defense.
Yeah, like obviously I think coming into the tournament they've looked in much better form, and even when they did play against the likes of 100 Thieves and NRG, they were both very close games, but a lot of that was their attack. It was their attack that really drove things home. And for Fnatic, we already know that, especially with the amount of utility they have, they have always been very solid on that attack side. But now at least though, no struggles just yet in economy, but you do almost feel like, at least for the side of Fnatic, they win this one, and the 6th round for them may just be in the bag with how low the credits are getting for MIBR.
Well, barriers going up, but a big round for Fnatic. Full royalties to play with. Haven't got that Viper's Pit back online, but we also haven't gotten to see the ult popped by Alpha here. We've already seen the impact that those salvos can have if well placed, and you might see what happens when it's combined a little bit later on. So Alpha seems set to be alive for a retake if Fnatic need it. MIBR sending every single player towards this A side, already expending some utility in that direction, hoping that they get some aggression. This was Arsene sent out to catch that bathroom push, but a very patient display from the defense.
Yeah, I guess expecting a change and thus delivering one of their own. But also, again, look how many ultimates are available for Fnatic. They can take that little bit of an extra risk, and it won't cause them too many issues, though. Saying that, Chronicle has taken a fairly severe amount of damage. Rotation coming in from Alpha yet. That Armageddon has been online for a long, long time. And the counter already being thrown in to try and deny that showstopper, but it will not be denied. The response, though, from Crashies is huge.
Another for Crashies! He'll find 4 before falling! And Arsene attempts to drift to another dimension, but he is sent straight there. A one-way ticket to round 12 as 6-5 is locked in. The climb back from Fnatic impressive, not just in this map so far, but in this round. Crashies dug so deep for that play, and they had lost a lot of control. Kayak being baited out by the decoy. It was a free kill for Arsene towards the bathroom, removing that operator that has been such an annoyance when it comes to pushing that A site. It seems like MIBR did all the difficult work, and then they found an unexpected roadblock.
Yeah, he had to react quickly. It was his ult that left a lot of them low. And from a fairly commanding position, MIBR are starting to slip. They've still got stuff to play with in this round, though. That Viper's Pit has been online a ridiculously long time, and with the Dimensional Drift available, it's going to be Arsene trying to take the space, and he's successful. An opener, a second going their way.
Don't know what's going on right now.
Is not close enough to respond. They are, however, going to try and utilize that Teo ultimate, but to no avail. It's only delay.
Yeah, it buys them time, but there's a minute on the clock. With the Viper's Pit down as well, that retake's just become so much more difficult. With Alpha going down, they've lost elbow control. The flank from Crashies is still so far away. Chronicle stepping to spawn, I mean, they're still going to be wary of that position. Even letting the decoy go past, but you can see Arsene has one job here. Stay close to that mid edge with a shorty in hand, and when it falls, he goes swinging in alongside Verno. Beautiful work from MIBR to lock in 7-5.
Yeah, they made that response. I like the immediate aggression out from Arsene, using his ultimate for space.
Oh my god.
Around that Viper's Pit, and it worked out wonderfully for them.
Man. Fucking hell.
The amount of death toll that they had already taken, it was just too difficult to get back into the round. Still, a pretty solid recovery for them. Nonetheless, we've got a very special guest down on the stage who is standing down there with Lou.
Et je suis ravie d'accueillir la belle-sœur du GOAT, Aspas. Back to family interviews now with Aspas' sister-in-law, Rafaela. Thank you very much for being here, Rafaela. Welcome to Paris, first of all. And the first question I wanted to ask you is, I think you know how popular Aspas is in the Valorant community. So how does it feel, having such a superstar in the family?
Hi. For me, it's very cool. I really like his have
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can see that he's one of the best players in the world, definitely. Donc, qu'est-ce que ça fait d'avoir une superstar comme ça dans la famille? Elle sait à quel point il est connu. Tout simplement, il est trop cool, il a trop la classe, et je suis très fière de lui. Second question, there is also a big love for FPS games in Brazil, right? So, what makes Brazilian teams like MIBR so interesting to watch?
Maybe because they have aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive.
Yeah. And very happy to watch.
Yeah, they're like cheering and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's indeed a very solid answer. Donc, qu'est-ce qui donne un petit peu envie de regarder les équipes brésiliennes? Qu'est-ce qui fait qu'elles sont si intéressantes à regarder? Ils sont très agressifs et sur scène, ils sont tout le temps heureux, ils sont tout le temps là en train de se cheer up. And finally, a little bit less serious question, but what is the best food you've tried so far in Paris?
French toast and hot chocolate.
I think that's a very good French breakfast indeed.
French toast and hot chocolate.
Donc forcément, les toasts français avec du chocolat chaud, c'est son plat préféré en France. Thank you very much, Rafaela. Obrigada. And I think it's already time for us to get back to the game.
It is indeed, Lou. It's time to get back in.
Get the fucking game on.
MIBR half one,
Get the game on.
7-5, and we had lots of standout players and standout
Busters
moments.
redeemed
But
his KD a
stealing
wee
the
bit.
show, I think, with that big play was Crashies with the 4K, but Aspas delivering round-on-round success for MIBR has given them the lead.
Yeah, you could look at it in the Coinbase Econ report. Like, he has definitely had his moments. I think he's had the number of Kayak as well, which we spoke about that as sort of the battle of the two. I still think Kayak had a pretty decent first half overall, which I think going into the second is going to be important. We know that there's going to be a lot of aggressive utility, especially off the back of the likes of Alfia and Crashies, to put him into position. Boaster as well from the backline, going to be putting down those stuns. But the man who needs to take the space is going to be Kayak. And if they can get into those post plants, that is always where Fnatic have been fantastic. The good thing, though, for MIBR, this double duelist. You're going to try and disrupt that. You're going to try and get ahead of any of those executions, and we'll see if they can make that work on their defense.
All this pistol round could bridge the gap for Fnatic or send MIBR way into the lead. A slow start from Fnatic. Who could have guessed? Their attack side, for those of you that don't know, have you ever watched Valorant before? But they really like to play this slow, methodical. For MIBR, I think that's going to be one of the challenges in this series. But I think it also comes with an element of readability. Difficult at times, perhaps, to sit in their positions and put together the pieces of what Fnatic are trying to do. But already we're seeing some utility put out on B. The info goes back in MIBR's favor that no one's actually there. No one's taking long control. And they might start to get itchy feet on this B stack.
Well, that's the thing. It was those 4 players set up initially, although the one on the other side is Aspas. So if anything, you kind of feel like it's a balanced setup. But his job is basically to just try and pick some people off and then maybe use those paint shells to deny. It's all a ruse, though. It's a fake back in the other direction. The push-ups already come in. MIBR are in a fantastic spot to try and deny this space being taken. They've had to double back because of how far the Chronicle managed to get into that A site. He made the realization, but now that spike has been dropped on the deck. This is looking fantastic for MIBR. 15 seconds. There needs to be a huge play, and in fact, the plant probably not even going to go down. Artsim from behind has already shut this down. Chronicle, 1v5, no chance, a flawless pistol for MIBR.
The lead extends in MIBR's favor. They lost the opening pistol, still ended up going out of that half with a 2-round advantage, but here the proactive early aggression. But it's not even that early. It's not like they started the round. Oh, let's push down on
like
short.
30 seconds.
Yeah. They're waiting. They're running that clock down and realizing, okay, Fnatic should be going for a hit soon. They should be looking for space. Let's see what we can find. And this is what I'm saying. Like, it's very difficult to play against Fnatic the first time. But if you know how they play, you know that you have to search for those gaps. And MIBR have already cracked the code there in the pistol. See if they can continue to do so. This one should be an easy follow-up big investment from the defensive side. They've already lost one player with only one pistol carried through. Anything else for Fnatic is a bonus, and there's Shenum gone as well.
Yeah, they also have to somewhat wait for that other player to get back in to even retrieve one of those guns. Timing should make it fairly easy.
Phantom's up top.
There's also a Guardian to be found. They're not going to get anything, though. They at least managed to get the one. Did they get the Guardian as well?
I missed half of that. I was trying to sort the adverts out from my stream.
No, they didn't. So that's at least one gun drop. Not the worst, but obviously on the other side of things for MIBR, they're still going to come in with a few to play with. They've had some of those individual moments of brilliance, and
Time to jump.
if they get one in this
Both are
round,
1
if
and
anything,
12, man.
they're on the path to taking their opponent's map choice.
Sad.
Oh, Abyss up next. See how that plays out. Boaster's having a tough run of it, and he was a big factor in them finding success in their previous series against RRQ. He still has just that one kill he closed out the last half with.
Yeah, I like what we just saw from MIBR. So that was the haunt over the top into the smoke with the flash behind it. They were hoping to try and put Aspas into a position to find an Opera on those players who are waiting around Fountain, but nobody there. It is Fnatic playing in such that passive style that it starves the opponents of information, but we've already seen that MIBR have done quite well in the first couple of rounds to react to that. And with Artsin only having a pistol, he's happy to play up close.
The lack of over-rotations as well. A lot of teams will make that push-up, see
Push the
nobody,
show.
and just go flying towards the A side, assuming that the hit's elsewhere. But used to the slow approach, ready for it at least. Artsin, he's going to go through this wall.
This is crazy,
Only
man.
got the Ghost to play with. One of the two weaknesses for MIBR. Uses the decoy to push them back. And
Oh, he's
a lot of
fucked.
stoppage
What's
from
the gun?
MIBR, keeping Fnatic down to 20 seconds before they've got boots on the ground. Aspas
I know
falls with
it.
the wall bang. Verno doing a ton of damage.
Oh!
He'll take
Fucking
down
hell.
Kaya.
They're like
And he leaves
half-assing
Boaster.
their
Alpha
push,
and Crash,
man.
he's all very low. The
So
volley
close.
just misses. The plant will be secured still. A huge opportunity. With Alpha regenning his health and dropping Verno, they could clean up the rest of the kills on the site. In fact, Alpha even gets challenged deep, and it ends up in a 1 versus 1. Cortesia alone. And no idea where Alpha's gotten to, thinking maybe that he's fallen back, but Alpha's close on the site, in that corner, just to his left, crouched down. The read is there, and so is the round for MIBR. A seeming death sentence for Fnatic. As double digits secured by America's #4.
Yeah, what a round. Cortesia again, they're just having these moments of brilliance, but I want to give the credit. I just want to say to the core, like, look how delayed or how much they're holding their utility. That Haunt came online ages ago. But Verno knows, okay, if they're going to play slow, I'm going to keep this to the end. Still had a Prowler, still had a Molly. Even still had the clone to throw out. They're literally holding everything until the last 35 seconds, and it just allows them to buy so much time. And then you add in that little bit of individual brilliance once again from Cortesia. And that now puts them 5 rounds into the lead.
Trades to start this one, but that's a big weapon for Fnatic. You saw the Guardian in hand for Alphayer, but look at the rest of the pieces. 2 Stingers and 2 Sheriffs, at least sight control for Fnatic, but the spike is miles behind. It's being caught by the Prowler. Boaster's got to run for the hills, and he's
Boaster,
trapped in the
oh my
corner.
God.
Verno won't let him escape. The spike secured now. The defensive side can't get there too easily. Crashy's embedded in the site, being spotted.
Man.
Shenum dealing with a major threat in this round, and you look at it, Fnatic, they're going to go back. They have to go back. So much presence for MIBR, the utility and the spams. It's given the presence away, but I like the fact that my main worry was that Cortesia was a little aggressive on B. Now he's backed off, he's given that space. There seems to be nowhere that Fnatic can go with favor.
Yeah, they tried to fake the steps. No steps were faked. I don't know how Chronicle survived there. I don't know how he's alive at this stage of the round, I'll be honest with you, but I don't think there's any chance of him winning it from here. Even a cheeky little blast back jump from Aspas. 11-5. Fnatic's map choice. A team that I think many coming into this matchup will go, oh, okay. They beat BLG. China's #1, but I think a lot of people have sort of slept on that as a result because China as a region has been suffering this event. But they are proving that that was not just a singular performance. And what you mentioned about that second pause and wanting to save it, I'll be honest with you, Mitch, I feel like it's a little late.
11-5? Yeah. I mean, for Fnatic, 11 is the magic number on the other side of the stage.
That's 11-3, though. They got too many rounds.
Yeah,
doesn't work.
damn it, actually. Yeah, the code's being cracked. Give them a few extra, and then what can they do? But this has got to be a frustrating start for Fnatic. Keep in mind, the next one up is Abyss. As we said, somewhere the Boaster was a major factor in making that a strong map for them in the last matchup they had against RRQ. He's having a slow start here on Bind, and most importantly, Bind is Fnatic's pick. They came in ready for this, and it looks like MIBR's prep is standing to them a little bit better.
Yeah, but also just look regionally. Over the last 3 months, Fnatic have been 4-1. Their only defeat was to Team Liquid, who were the best team in EMEA, at least, coming into this tournament, and it was an OT defeat. This has been one of their best maps, and right now, well, for MIBR, who during the regular season struggled massively within Americas, they are looking completely different the second they've made it to Paris. Bear in mind, this is a spot in the playoffs. A lot of people didn't even expect MIBR to be here, let alone potentially a map away from playoffs.
Well, they came here early to Europe, got a week of boot camp in. I don't know what they did at that boot camp, but it seems to have completely changed the look of this team. On the defense, where we were worried.
Yeah.
You know, did they have enough rounds? 7-5, even with a pistol.
This is over for Fnatic.
Arguably, this half has looked stronger for them so far than what we saw in the previous. And for Fnatic, they are running out of time. The pause called. This is the moment to put the pieces together. But so far, MIBR are the ones with the greater vision.
Now, from watching your gameplay, I've seen an Odin plenty on this map, but I don't know if I've seen much of it over on the B side. Is he going to swing? He's swinging with an Odin. Okay. That's not what I expected, but I guess his teammates managed to get the trade. The Odin has been sacrificed in order to clear Kayak.
I actually do like, well, I don't like him shift peeking it like that, but you're assuming that no one's pushed up because so far Fnatic have been extremely slow in taking B long control, and when they have, there's utility to follow it. So the assumption here is that that orb's going to go up and they'll start walking and you can spam through it.
There's still the nade, there's still both flashes, there's still a molly, like none of the utility has been baited out just yet from the side of Fnatic. They are running into the blender. Got to zero up close. Has already managed to drop Chronicle. They have 10 seconds. They have to go through a molly. They're not baiting out any of the utility. 6 seconds. And if someone swings this, it's all but over.
No.
The round is gone. Fnatic are just capitulating. They are making this far too easy for MIBR, as they have every single piece they could desire all the way to the last 15 seconds.
Just a top-down approach from MIBR, losing the opening pick, trade quick at least. Still makes it difficult for the defense often if you don't have the numbers, but that utility buff
10 seconds
making one hell of a difference. It takes Alpha out of the play. It leaves that planter with only one player to cover, and an easy swing closes it. 1 round needed, 7 chances to close out Fnatic's map pick. For MIBR, you can write off that first match. You probably can't, but a lot of people will anyways. But they do it twice, and there's no talk of a fluke anymore. This team has leveled up in the downtime. Their reward now.
Yeah, he's dead.
Seemingly seconds away. Showstopper on the Boaster, from bad to worse for Fnatic's IGL. And a 5 versus 4 the Fnatic are facing into.
A minute left. Which means we probably won't see the move for another 50 seconds. Smoke down to delay. Nade still available, C still available, Snake Bite still available, Orbital Strike, Molotov. Like, there's so much to slow Fnatic down. Orbital Strike even just going to be sent out a little early. They know what they've got available, and 3 players on this site. Nightfall used to clear. Molotov to make things awkward, but still they survive at the back of the site, and the smoke is going to slow them once again.
Artsen's behind them. This TP taken. It's going to at least send most of the squad out of the way, but Chronicles caught on the rotate. Another man down. Aspas, such an unusual position.
Yes, man.
Fnatic will at least get a plant now because of that pick. A chance for them as Alfiier's caught up close. They're being so patient in clearing these angles. That spam looking deadly. Cortesia again delivering when he's needed. Alpha popped the ultimate, but I mean, he needs time here. He's not picking quite quick enough. Two players to find. Taunt looking the wrong way. Artsen to seal the deal. MIBR 13-5. It's decimation on map number 1. A big bounce back needed from Fnatic in the next. They say you find strength in your scars often. Well, Fnatic have got quite a few here.
Yeah, it has been an impressive display by MIBR, but nonetheless, there's still a chance for a comeback. We'll find out after the break.
Come on! Oh, look at me, Alpha! You like to say that? Okay?
Nice.
Let's go.
Now that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Esports World Cup, where we are starting off with Valorant.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
So looking for revenge.
How about you behind one? There's the shorty. And Alfier goes crazy.
They've all battled through the pressure and expectation. Heretics have come back all the way! Finally, we won. Finally.
I don't know why they keep showing that fucking advert for the esports. Oh. I got like a strike or some shit yesterday on YouTube, right? Because of the fucking music. Oh, 2 minutes, man. Damn. So.
Right here. Right here. Right here. Right here.
5 kills with 1 shot. Literally can't believe this is real. After 10 years, bro. Bro.
That's crazy.
With Vintage new electronics category.
Guys, am I that cringy though?
Yeah.
Who said yeah? Who said?
The all-new iPhone 17.
Hey guys, Mika here, and I'm with Fraud of MIBR. Congratulations, the team looks incredibly, powerful. They look so aggressive. I'm curious what you told them before this match, because they were looking like they were unafraid of anything. So what inspired that kind of aggression?
Just really focusing on our game. I know it sounds very simple, but for us, we're a very aggressive team. We like to play with confidence, and throughout some of the splits when we were having some bad moments, that we were kind of lacking that a little bit. So that's been our focus for the last 2-3 weeks ever since we boot camped, to just focus on ourselves, play our game, play with utmost confidence, and believe in each other. So I think for us, it's just we're very happy that we're finally able to put it out on the server and show everyone what we got.
Got any teasers for Abyss?
Well, we got it.
Okay, you got it. All right, here to see it. Good luck.
Obviously, it's not going to say shit.
Sometimes I ask myself, am I a believer? Am I a believer? I think after that, I might just be a believer. What about you two?
I just realized what you were doing with it. It took me a second. Am I BR believer?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the OG believer.
Yeah,
Doug.
and I am. I just wasn't as clever about it. Look, I am fully believe that all of Brazil needs to mass all of the funds possible to give Fraud a raise. The turnaround that this man has done with this roster is insane. And it was not necessarily mechanical issues. I think there were a lot of internal things that were caused.
Bruh.
This was MIBR in the bonus round. What a perfect way for them to play this.
I mean, this is just crazy, too. They come down in numbers. This is their bonus. They only have 3 guns. So if Verno has a rifle here, maybe they just win the round straight up.
I don't think it goes the free games, if I'm honest. Like,
where Alfieri gets this first
no, after the first one.
Step out in the 1v2. Cortezia comes on into the site. And I really liked how Alfieri was playing this, playing inside the little pocket. I didn't think there would be a chance Cortezia would be clearing this, but he steps around, takes him out, and this started the snowball. MIBR did not lose a single round on defense.
Yeah, do you know what Fnatic did? Because love the vibes and the trash talk Cortezia brings.
I know you've been holding this back.
Yeah, because I know it's your last day here with me, so I want to give you a good time. But the thing is, I'm straight up not having a good time because Fnatic got 8 first kills and only converted 2 rounds out of the 8 first kills, and they threw a 5v3, of course many 5v4s. That genuinely, I hate to say it, was pretty unacceptable of a team of that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, the cope is that Bind is a map where it's hard to retake sites even when you are up in numbers, but frankly, that is inexcusable. That was the cope. The truth is that Fnatic were not doing a good job of playing together on site. So I think that even though first kills would go Fnatic's way, you'd see so many situations where individual players are off on a little island by themselves, and MIBR, they were shooting all guns blazing. You cannot beat these team one-on-one. You got to play together.
I hope Milan, the coach of Fnatic, can give us some hope ahead of Map 2. This is what he had to say.
Hey guys, Mika here now with Milan of Fnatic. That was a struggle, of course, that first map, and Bind is usually a map that Fnatic is very comfortable on, so I'm wondering what the boys were having such a hard time with dealing, especially up against a team like MIBR.
They were just walking on us on the first half, and I don't think we knew where they were going to end. We knew what they were able to do, and we just didn't play together. So I think it's a nice wake-up call. We talked about it during the break. They still feel confident, and I think it's time to show them what we got.
Well, hopefully that's a wake-up call. Good luck on the next map.
I mean, that's just what MIBR like to do, right? So hopefully they can get there together for Abyss, but this is MIBR's pick, and this is where I actually think MIBR's chances get better.
Yep.
If we look at Abyss, Doug, and then Haven after that.
Yeah, I mean, we had the conversation at the beginning of the tournament about which teams benefit most from having Abyss back in the map pool, and MIBR was one of those 5 teams that I think we mentioned. And I mean, yeah, we talked about this at the beginning of the series too. I think if Fnatic wanted to have a chance, they needed to win map 1 because it got real dire as the series went on. And I mean, Milan talked about it. Christy, you mentioned it too.
Yeah.
They did not look cohesive. They did not look like they were playing together, and that netted them a brutal loss.
But as we turn our attention to Abyss, Fnatic play a wild comp, right? They were playing the Breach, the Astro, tons of high-range global abilities here to catch out members of MIBR. But my concern is MIBR now have tape looking at this on the other side. They'll have come in, they knew they were going to take this map, they picked themselves, and they will have studied where to avoid those fault lines to not fall prey the same way Fnatic was able to win the last time.
Yeah, and it looks like this is a comp that we have seen before. You know, very, very familiar. Do we like it? For MIBR.
For MIBR, I mean, us plus Jet, I'm never going to say no to that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the KO I'm sort of hit or miss on. I think that running double smokes is something that we're maybe missing a little bit, either double smokes or double initiator or duelist, as a matter of fact. But Artsin's KO is very strong, no doubt.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of really good delay with the Molly, a ton of really good delay with the knife too, and so I see the value with it, and obviously as we talk about Aspas on Jet, the flashes allowing him to go do his thing certainly helps.
How's it going?
Yeah, this is a tough setup here if you're Fnatic. I think Danny or Fraud, excuse me, talked about it in the interview as well, and I think it's playing out that way. Like they wanted to work on confidence, they wanted to work on chemistry. He showed both in that interview, and I think they know where their strengths are.
Yeah, I really think that this map is going to come down to how well Fnatic can use Chronicles.
The team are playing, man, so.
I think you're putting a lot on fighting utility, and if Kayak is not able to capitalize on that with the Waylay, then it's going to be a 2-0.
I think it comes down to controlling, but you know, that's
this is like
good.
the...
I like how simple you are with
this
it,
is
and honestly, you're not wrong.
Thank you very much. But for MIBR, though, they're on the
like
cusp of
the Grand International. This is Champions, like the top trophy in Valorant.
To Mitch and Tom.
Can't remember what the prize pool is,
You know,
man.
in darkness, the faintest glimmer of hope shines bright.
It's more about the
Fnatic,
trophy in
maybe
this.
That's Boaster whipping out another 13 and 1/2. Quite a turnaround it would be.
There's
from
like,
that first
they get,
map. For
there's like an
MIBR,
MVP
this squad
award
comes in
and
as an
obviously the
organization
trophy.
Not winning a game on the global
The
stage
MVP
when they
award's like a
arrived at
bracelet.
Champions, but now they're looking
It's like
to
a
set the record straight.
again,
4-0 in opening maps, locking
£200,000
themselves into
fucking
playoffs.
bracelet or
That
some shit.
is possible. It could be their future. Hell, based on first map, it may be their fate, Tom. But Fnatic, we know this is a team you cannot count out
They
until
get a
the
good
last
amount.
round.
I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to how much they all get paid and how much the prize pool shit is. I'm more just about like
the China #1
the consistency, who's winning and who's not.
and the team that finished second at the previous international event into the lower bracket. A great start
Because
already.
in this
Alfio
they've had
was
a
meant to be
lot
the anchor of the site.
they've had a lot of change ups in like the
Aspas
teams and
eliminated him immediately, and already
normally you wouldn't
looks
really
to carry
find
forward.
a lot of foreign players playing in like EU, like Brazilian players playing in EU for example. But there's like American players playing for Brazilian teams right now, so it's all sort of changed a wee bit and they're different. Play styles for all around the world are so different.
Aspas takes him out clean. 1-0 start for MIBR.
Aye, they get
Pistol
good
under their
money,
belt,
like
and a big talking point
sponsorships
here
and
for
shit like
Fnatic
that.
is going to be finding their rhythm again, getting back on the horse early. Well, that's denied right out the gate on a bit.
But I reckon Fnatic are losing this, man. They lost the first game.
Match coming back into the pool is sort of like the variation that we see. I feel like going back to when it first came out, this was one of the comps that was initially run, like basically just stealing the exact aspects of Ascent and then throwing the Astra in for a little bit more global utility.
They're playing.
For MIBR being on that attack
One of the
side,
players on MIBR is pretty good, man. I mean, they're all really good, but one of them in particular is really good.
so difficult to play against. Now Fnatic in this
Probably
round
the
have
top
already got
player
very
in fucking
aggressive,
Valorant.
Cortesia is hearing all of those steps. The first should be free and will be, and now the rest of his team have just gone into A with relative ease.
Got full control for MIBR. Not playing on site, instead moving back towards main with Q to cover off that flank. For Dezia. Be careful as he goes back towards the spawn, but he's only got the ghost. And why not farm up another one of those orbs? A 4-1 start for him, and remember, back to the previous
supported
map,
him ever since I started watching this one.
well.
No, like I watched them
first 5 or 6 rounds.
play against Sentinels
in number 2
in the first year in Masters, I think. That was like the first game I ever watched, and ever since then I've sort of supported them. And I think they're pretty good. They've had a lot of changes though recently, so one of the players got like COVID, and like he was playing while he had COVID, and he wasn't really too well, and he ended up sort of like going on a break. But they recently just announced that he's like moved on to the team. But they've had like this team that they're playing for like a wee while now, like over a year, maybe 2 years.
With a buy that I dare say it's equally as strong as their opponents.
Yeah, with credits to spare, right? This is what we were talking about in the previous map.
The MIBR team is pretty good,
and I think
man.
on a map like this, it's even more relevant with so much space. You need those weapons to challenge on range. MIBR picking up the pace.
The Jet and
already
this player
moving
here.
towards the A site, and they have pushed Fnatic well and truly off of the site. The plant being secured. Just a moment. There it is. They needed an advantage, and they found it.
Yeah, Althea not
Like one of the players for
within the
PRX
site
had to
initially,
serve in the military in Korea and
for the
shit.
retake, a very passive position from Shen.
The stories are cool,
All the
man.
way back towards the spawn, just setting up utility.
Oh.
Cortesia, however, a much more aggressive angle. He's looking to play contact. The slow thrown through is Sublime, though. Gives that early trade back. A one-man advantage, but look at where the remaining 2 are. They are sat all the way back. They've got so many angles left to clear, and the spams might just be enough. A solid start already.
2v2.
Goes down. Grab well available. There it is. Pulling them out of position. They need to push. They need to fight these players because that spike is already ticking all the way. Somebody needs to be on it. And now the spam going through. I don't even know if there's enough time anyway. It won't matter. MIBR, they sacrificed themselves, but in a bonus round, who gives a damn?
MIBR taking a fucking piss out of us, man.
Start. You'd trade every dime for that. Especially when it starts out with Fnatic playing so passive, but finding their pick, trading out every opening engagement, and running back into a 3 versus 2. But they don't find either of those players in main.
Let's go, Bruno. Come on.
This is looking like a complete diff on one side, and Fnatic have got to be feeling locked out.
I think it's
in that first map, none here.
Hoster's just not in his fucking
4-0 start for the attacking side.
in his element today, man. He just can't get into the game whatsoever.
Expect them to let their foot off the gas.
He played so well the other day, and I think it just went to his head.
Like you have the close contact, so that even once Fnatic have cleared those players aggressively, you have everywhere else to clear on the site. You have to go through everything.
Nah.
You maybe expect even there to be supported players.
Like
but
if
then you
they've
have
planted
the 2 that have the util to do the
and
damage
they kill
in
the last
back
player.
in
It's like CS:GO. If they kill the attackers, then they've got to defuse it. The defense have got to defuse it.
Cheeky. No escape for Kayak. It feels like a one and done unless there's a serious mistake. And well, he had an opportunity.
I mean, they're on a sheriff run. It's not so bad,
Did
but
0 damage there, which
oh, we got a gun mid.
Oh,
fucking hell, man! Wait, we got 2 out of it, and then we fucked it.
Alpha's the last one standing. The rifle he retrieved.
We actually got 2 picks, and we just bomb rushed it, and we fucking lost it.
Being cleared up top, but he's too quick. 4-0 for MIBR. Fnatic still on the starting block.
It's a standard thing for Fnatic, man.
Recovery was good.
They won their first match.
I genuinely think that
Like
Bruno might have entered the Matrix there, because he was getting ready to
like
put a drone
the first
out,
team that
and
they're
then
playing
managed
against,
to
so
just dance his way out of every
they
single
got
one of
1
those
point.
shots. 4-0 start.
But they'll go to, I think they go to lower bracket. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. It's fucking
High expectations, of course, at Toronto Grand Final. It's not like the regional performance was not off the back of a huge run at the previous international. They had the extra prep time, but So did MIBR.
So Fnatic loses to go to lower bracket, and they're playing whoever fucking wins at these
on the
ones.
stage. MIBR just kept walking up on them. So Fnatic are going to try the same. It's a big risk in this
Yeah,
play
they
round.
need to
And
win this.
MIBR is so patient. They
But they're not
seem
gonna.
ready for this play. The
But they
reveal,
go.
not matching Cortezia.
Fanatics won the cup,
But he'll be pushed back, stunned up, and gunned
and they
up.
literally
Kayak
came
goes
from
well.
the lower bracket. Like they were just playing so ass, and they managed to climb all the way up to win the cup. So
This is a huge early advantage from Fnatic, but that didn't stop them from losing rounds on Bind. Sue said it, 2 out of 8 where they found the opening picks. This has to be
you
different
never know,
now.
man. It is possible.
Otherwise, we could be seeing a very quick series.
And that's the mad thing about Fnatic. They have that
It's not the
in them to.
expectation.
It looks like they
Bomb
just
will
play
go
like
through,
ass
but
all the time, but they somehow
Reposition the kill trip
have
spotted
their
at the last
games where
second. It gives
they just
away
pull it off and they manage to
position
climb
of
all the way
Arctic. He's going to
back
force
to
the
the top.
fight, but Alfia will win it. A 2v5. The
They
only
have the
thing that
advantage here,
genuinely
right? It's a
terrifies me here
2v5.
is that Odin.
And he's
Sat
right.
in the back
Silva
line
has
with the
Odin
opportunity
and they
to
have
spam. If
darts.
Verno
And
can
I
dodge
usually
those shots,
darts.
there's a chance. Already finds the first. Aftershock goes through a second for Verno. He's looking to do it all with the Odin. Only 2 remain. Verno's still on the corner, finally shut down, and Chronicle could put an end to the absolute madness that Verno was trying to deliver.
Man, it's the first
two
round that we
players
got
in
on the
main,
board.
Tom.
Just we fucking lost it to one guy with an Odin.
I really did. That third spray, I was all in on Verno there, man.
I could see it in your eyes, you're like, oh.
Odin
The
starts
slow-mo
going
is
up.
mad.
But no, it's the same 2 players. It was a 2v3 last time. Now a 2v4.
Oh.
The difference being Chronicles here this time. Locking it down. Those players
Chronicle
trapped in
is
the
it,
corner.
man.
They can't get out.
Just swinging them dry.
And that was a problem over on Bind as well. Fnatic giving a lot of individual fights, not playing together. And we saw those same glimmers
Aspas has his ult.
shining through here. That's info. Sticking around a bit too long. Kayak almost goes
Oh,
down. But it's
oh,
a
oh.
Fury on the back of it. These players trapped in a narrow alley, but they will just about make it out with all 5 players intact.
Aspas
And
for
a deep push
70.
from Cortezia is spotted.
Oh, he gets tagged with the fucking drone.
Wasn't just sitting there while the rest of the players were under attack.
Nice.
He has been dealt with. And Alpha, yeah, well, he's got
Alpha.
completely unchecked.
Oh, there's
Not
4 on him, man.
expecting
You
the
can win this,
aggression
man.
to be through
Possible.
by the Odin spam. Oh, it's eventually starting to find tax, but Alpha on the other side.
We get
has
2
managed to
out
double
of
his
it,
own.
man.
It leaves just 2 standing
Cash is
again
going
with
to
the
push up
spike down.
flank.
They have to battle to
Oh,
retreat
they
to
know
the
he's
flank.
there, though,
Already
no?
coming in, but
Oh,
Crashy's
no, they
not
don't. They
overstepping
don't.
the mark.
Aspas has
Gonna
Odin,
hold.
man. What the
Just gonna
fuck?
block them in. Well, Aspas with an Odin, yeah, I was about to say, it's not something I ever expected or wanted to see.
You've got a 2v2 on either side.
No worries, dude.
I like the fact that Fnatic are showing this patience. I think this was missing when
Nice.
it came to the previous.
What? One
alone
player, man.
now
We can't lose this.
with 30 seconds.
This is a skin I
Almost
want.
No chance.
This skin right here is the one I want to get, man.
Fights, but that's the end of this
Nice.
round. Great stun thrown through from Kayak. Good piece of utility. Locks in a
Catching a
second
bit, dude.
for Fnatic to climb back.
Enjoy
it's
your
really
summer.
underway. There's still plenty of time for this to spiral back into MIBR's favor.
This was a much better looking round for the side of Fnatic. You had the set play initially that, although didn't necessarily go exactly as planned, the other players on the team are still making a move. Like Alfia taking so much control over on the A side.
Let's go, boys.
And more importantly for me, it's Crashy's control. Like not only in that flank at the end, but more importantly, making sure they didn't lose complete control of middle, because that was a huge gap that could have been exploited.
That might be our ults online. I'm looking at Artson in particular. This opens up the play towards the A site. You can get rid of those trips, and that's exactly what MIBR are going for. The blitz into heaven, and it's Boaster under pressure. He'll deliver them. He finds himself one, backs off. The problem is the player he dropped can be brought right back into the fight. Those trips have been destroyed towards the site itself. So a plant should be found for free. 5 versus 4 with damage done to Boaster.
It's delayed a little. The fact is though, MIBR's post plant so far has been fearsome. I'm already looking back at Verno and finding out that there's 3 players in that defender position, the close crossfire into mid as well. There's the dash through and the information, but Artson just ignores it. That one was free, and he goes for a little more. A 3-for-1 combo deal with Chronicle nowhere near the action. He revealed them initially, and then he puts them in the grave.
Very well played. Target selection as well. Kayak going in there. A lot of players will swing wide, looking to take down that close player, but you got to be ready for the Waylay. We know how this plays. Go in, find info, get out. Fortunately, by the time that refract was finished, he had no teammates to push with. Really well handled. Look at this, doesn't even look at the reveal to start with. Full confidence in that swing.
Let's go! Woo! It's just really good target selection. I feel like it's a very underrated skill of just, sure you might be able to hit the headshot, but are you picking the player that's the biggest threat? And I think that's what Artson did perfectly in that moment.
What, pick fucking Buster first?
On the board for Fnatic.
The biggest
that might have
threat.
been enough in their last series, but it's a very different looking position against them. And they're getting aggressive once again.
Kayak has refract online. He can't stick around too long, and the Cloudburst buy just enough time for Aspis that he doesn't have to take that fight. That he can avoid the reveal that was thrown through as well. It's very nicely played. Good reaction from the attacking side. And again, this default that they're playing, they have taken a lot of space towards the B site. You look at Artson, and a lot of teams will already be looking to capitalize on that space. But the spike has been left for 30 seconds or so as they wait for a reaction. Fnatic realizing we've lost B. Where do we push? Where do we try to take that space back? And in fact, they're comfortable just completely conceding it.
Yeah, well, they're jump spotting, but do they realize how far Artson has got? I'm not sure they do. It's a check. This will be the big fight of the round, while Boaster's already managed to win it. Even still, the site has been completely cleared by Artson, so he got them the information. I'm looking at that convergence path, though. Immediately thrown through, but 3 players have dodged it. Boaster's already...
That's a massive connection. The
The fuck happened there?
dug now for MIBR. Through. Can rain down from Fnatic as they look to close in the space. They're being picked apart. The Cosmic Divide, it may have saved Boaster. In fact, it only bought him time. Aspis there for the double.
What's going
with
on?
Alpha all
They
alone.
missed half the fight, bro. What the fuck happened
there?
there?
Called into play, but he's going for it. He's being baited out and eventually dealt with. MIBR looking clean as Fnatic stutter on their way through. It's a 6-2 score.
Hey, Verno, this is the champion stage, not your rank game. So bro's just dipping in and out. And the Cosmic Divide just full troll at the end.
He's still there? Still there?
Look at me.
Still there?
Oh, this is just funny. Yeah, again, you see those advantages picked up.
Nice! Let's go!
But in those post plants, MIBR have been devastating. Their synergy, like we mentioned, this team is like a lot of youngsters, a lot of inexperienced players, an IGL of 19 years old, but you look at this squad and how they play together, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like
What's going on with the stream, man?
The veterans of Fnatic, who the player that they sort of picked up.
As well,
yeah,
that's the course that we are on. As I said, you really can't count them out, discount their success. If they do it twice, there can't be one team on a bad day, and it's not likely to be two. You start to think MIBR may be a contender for the crown, a team that recently put up their first win on the global stage.
I mean, they could do it,
They've
but
obviously got a taste for it now.
Oh, thank God.
He had the refract.
Yeah. I've seen Nats do it. That means anyone can do it. It's going to stick around. In a round like this, you understand. Though again. He's been missing. I've seen Nats. It's that space taking on the retake. just hasn't had those rounds we've known him for regionally. And on the other side of things, it's been a stellar performance across the board. A slow walk up again. Bear in mind, this is Artsim with the spike.
He's going through that smoke as well. Crazy aggressive as he links up with Aspis on site. The take underway, but still players sticking around, especially with weaker weapons. They don't have to be as respectful of this, instead using those cages to get a little bit closer. And Boaster's managed to overwhelm Jenim. Aspis, players all around. He's adjusted just in time. But it has to be Verno, the man who we've seen make some of the biggest plays on this stage. Have some huge performances. I thought he'd fallen off there for a second.
Me too, man.
He's managed to sneak his way around.
Boaster's above him.
Boaster right above him, but Verno slipping through his grasp. The smoke fading. He's looking the wrong way, though. It will be Boaster to take him down. His third kill of the round, and a MasterCard Thrifty gets Fnatic to 3.
I genuinely think they needed that.
That was insane. I can't believe they fucking managed to pull that off.
Huge round for Boaster individually. We mentioned it last time they played this map. It was his attack side prowess that brought things home, and it was an 8-0 attack. So realistically, if they get enough on the defense, it might just work out for them. But he managed to
around the whole site.
He actually
I was
did.
gonna say, he managed to work with the chaos. Help bring that one through. Here goes Kayak again. This time they're a little bit further ahead. He might be able to get one and just escape, and that's exactly what he does. Nice play.
Completely blindsided there. I mean, you're walking up with knife out. Clearly not expecting that level of aggression to come out, and this is again one of those factors of the Waylay and using it correctly. The early control, minimal risk with the ability to just dip on out of there. For almost anyone else standing in that position is a one and done. But no punish to the defensive side. Nice attempt.
Oh, Rolling Thunder.
Really?
Yeah, I guess clearly feeling like there was a lot more there. Cortez has managed to get quite far, but you expect there'll be an immediate swing into play. That was one of the criticisms even their own coach had from the last map, was they weren't playing together. That one was a lot better, and now the full force revealed. Should be a fairly easy kill from Alfia, and it will be. Well, Artsim needs another big play. It's not going to happen. Aspas needs an ace.
The 140 tag.
He could do it, man. This is crazy.
2 knives for Kayak, and it's one straight to the head of Alpha. Crashy's vulnerable to a single one, but there's so little time. Aspis will have to make maybe the play of the tournament if he makes this happen. It'll be tough to top 10 seconds, and already safety being played by Crashy's up in heaven. Kayak far away. They're just not going to give him the opportunities.
Yeah, realizing how low the clock is. Maybe wanting to take the extra gun out may actually make a difference, and he's just going to try and float his way down and survive. I like it. 6-4. Fnatic finding their footing, and you start to see that sort of interplay and synergy that we expect from this squad. An early fight from Kayak, but then it's the bait from Boaster to give Alfia that opportunity. 4 rounds may already be enough. We don't know how.
Come on.
Nice.
MIBR are going to play in that defensive side, but for that reason, I think Fnatic will want a little bit more.
Well, they're not the only ones. A timeout called by MIBR. Seeing 2 rounds from Fnatic was enough for them. Considering we've had some flash in the pan aggression from Fnatic, getting Kayak into that spot early over towards A main, catching them off guard. Couple of rounds, maybe just a couple, where they've been isolated. You look at that eco, that very low buy, the stinger that Boaster was able to run circles around the site, surviving, thriving. It's not something that MIBR are going to take lightly.
Well, I think as well, consider the comp that MIBR are running. Like when you have a double initiator and a Cypher, all with regenerative utility, you shouldn't be caught out in the at the very early stages of the round. That's where you have the utility to stop these players from doing that. So I imagine a lot of that would just have been a check-in from Fraud and saying like, look, we have what is needed to deal with these aggressive pushes. We just need to use it.
Seems like an adjustment being made by MIBR to a more direct approach. We saw this in the pistol round.
Yeah.
Cortesia being...
Well, we saw Alpha get cooked.
yeah, he got ripped to shreds. Cortesia was just playing super passive in mid. Managed to find himself a bunch. They'll go for the same thing here in the buy round. Shock up and over. Is that going to get... No, nothing. It's the right side.
I think that was for default. That's where they want to plant. So just making sure there isn't a kill trip on that side. Instead, it's on the other. It's kind of hard to deal with anybody there. It will slow them down, but getting a pick from this position is very difficult. So that post plant's going to be in, and I'll be honest with you, Mitch, that is where this squad has been the scariest.
And ult as well to buy them more time. Fnatic, because it's such a direct hit, they have so much utility to work with, but they can't use it just yet. The spam from Verno working wonders, but Aspas has gone down. He's been a big player in these moments, but so is Cortesia. Bringing the numbers back into their favor, MIBR. They've even got Artson on a pistol. He's the man on site trying to buy them some time, run that clock down, but Cortesia falls. The Gravwell having to be used early on, but the time ticking now, the pressure mounting for Fnatic as Genify blocked the spray! In this world of chaos, Verno is the cam. That Odin, it finds so much value. And a 7th round, a guaranteed lead at halftime for MIBR already.
This man is very quickly becoming one of the hottest prospects in all of Americas. A 19-year-old in-game leader who's currently, I think, 12-5 versus Fnatic while using an Odin on the attack side. Find me another player with all of those characteristics. I can tell you now, they don't exist. The only man above him is, well, a man who is considered in the GOAT debate. And one of the people he's doing it to is the other.
1 round left to play for. The stage is set for the second half with this. And it's Aspas getting aggressive. He'll only find the one. Kayak's there to save the day, but damage was done to Alpha here. The weaker weapon sliding, even on range, but the Odin comes back. The wall bangs again for Verno. But Kayak, his performance left us wanting more, so much more from him after that debut down there on the champ stage. It looks like he's delivered when it matters most. Fnatic 5 on the board.
Yeah, they really, really needed that one. Nonetheless, it is just going to be the 5. We'll see if there's a response to be had after the break.
Heidi's super clever tech helps you find their best ski holiday deals from over 300 ski resorts. Search for exactly what you want, or let Heidi help you decide. Fly any day you want, for the number of days you want, from any airport you want. It's easy to add extras, make flexible payments, and speak to real humans. Because with Heidi, you can find the exact ski holiday you deserve. Find your freedom with Heidi. Atto Protected.
How's it going?
Good morning. Let's go, guys.
When'd she get here? Let's go. Do you see her?
I think we won. Good morning. Come on, let's go.
We got here first. We did it. Nah, it's just right there.
Good morning, guys.
You wake up, good morning, it's a brand new day. Blue skies above, it's a perfect day.
In the last round as well, even though they lost it. This guy is very quickly becoming one of my favorite players to watch. And I'm not a huge Odin enjoyer. I just enjoy watching him use the Odin, which, you know, I think that's acceptable. It's the best of both worlds.
I'm glad someone from the core is finally convinced you.
I'm not a complete degen. I just, I'm okay with that.
You're okay with the guy running through smokes with an Odin in hand?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
He's special.
He
Everyone
really
else is a rat.
Well, myself and Yinsu will have words with you after this. 7-5, a 2-round gap between them, and for MIBR, winning the pistol, it gave them that little bit of a leg up. But we saw Fnatic start to heat up. They finally contested, because on Bind it didn't feel like there was a contest. This felt incredibly one-sided, and when we moved to the second half, it was even more so for MIBR. This is their chance to close it out. 2-0 in both their series. A statement start to their Champions run, to their first run of any kind at an international event, at a global event for this organization.
Enemy spotted. They've already caught the early aggression out from the side of MIBR, and I think as a singular smoke has deterred their initial push. That means there's going to be so many players here. Wonderful entry, though, from Kayak. A huge initial fight that took down the defender. The spams coming through. Kayak already with the second of the round, a third even, taking over individually.
Ace.
This is what Fnatic were missing, especially in that last map.
Ace.
But with 3 already in the pistol, a few low HP players, but MIBR, well, the M stands for miracle.
Where is he?
Now this would be something else entirely. As we said, Kayak in the previous round, or previous half, he had that massive 3K. Helped Fnatic to course correct, to close that distance. Now he's in a spot seemingly to have done it again. His pistol will close the gap entirely.
No ace.
Put us to 7-7. Kayak's going out for more, building those orbs early on. Even going down isn't that bad. He's halfway to having the ultimate already.
Last player standing.
In the end, it will
nice.
be pretty damn clean for Fnatic. A much-needed pistol round has been secured.
Yeah, well, we said it. The last time they played this map,
oh.
It was an 8-0 attack half. So we are going to be looking at MIBR. Now, I'll say you picked this
Slice
map.
and dice, man.
You better be ready for that. But I'm pretty sure RRQ picked this map as well. So it doesn't always ring true. They've at least got to see what Fnatic have been doing. And I'm sure Brod has been cooking in the lab. Maybe not with the comp, but at least with how they're going to deal with that. Aspas maybe considering taking some early space, but you just have to look at what's on the board. It's not even a Sheriff, Mitch. It is literally nothing.
Yeah. That's why they're stacked up so heavily towards this A side. Putting all their eggs in one basket, throw the early knife, hope that Fnatic assume that because they haven't been caught by the knife, MIBR will have rotated, they'll be stacked up on the other side of the map, and then you go running into the stack on A. That's not a bad idea. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out. We can see that Fnatic, at least to start, are bringing this towards the B site. Crashy's even giving up that full control over A main. It's already locked in. They'll be waltzing in to a site that's, I mean, it's not even defended. Cortezia is miles away.
They'll claim an orb. I imagine unless... Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say go down to the spike, but I forgot that this is a thing. Incoming Lothar copy pasta on Twitter for the 8th time. And more importantly, for Fnatic, it is a flawless round. Even though they don't get all the orbs, the main thing is they keep all of the weapons. So you look at the purchase that's going to be coming up, it's similar to the last half. I think most teams are running it like this now because of that huge range advantage and the good chance that you're going to find a gap. Because of that, a bonus round, it's barely a bonus. The only difference is they have denied them having any form of ult, which with Kayak and Crashies both having a few orbs each, I actually think that's well worth it.
Yeah, bonus round with Boaster on the operator. That's something. Quite a big bonus.
A wise man once said, that's how daddy plays. So let's see what he's got in the locker.
I mean, it's the one player on low credits, right? Like, it's a huge buff that you get on that attack side. Being able to take these range fights, maybe catch a player out of position, find a free opening pick. Those spams doing quite a bit of damage. Send Crashies back. Fnatic do take the space in the end, and for MIBR, I think waiting for numbers is almost their only choice at this point. Can't go running through those smokes.
Yeah, surviving on the B side when there's a stun going through the left side and then a grab well at the back, there's not really a safe space. The only worry now, though, is can they break back in on the retake? Already a pop flash that doesn't quite catch, but it's going to be Artson getting ready to potentially swing through this smoke. The spam trying to delay them. They are just being held back, and somehow Kayak is just dodging all the bullets. They can't expect anybody to be here, but they've been able to find the early trades. The stun was decent, but it doesn't matter, but now it's all up to Boaster. In that backline again with the Operator, facing off against a man who is a master of that gun. But that time is ticking desperately low.
Yes!
He does not flinch. It is Boaster in the post plan and Fnatic in the lead.
Well, compared to the last map, he's on fire now, and that's going to be a much-needed confidence boost for Boaster.
Well played Crashes, man.
From MIBR. You can see Aspis up top, taking the fights deep, and as the push comes around towards that spawn, towards the bridge, he's there to cover his teammates from above. A big player in that retake, but Boaster.
Are we in an alternative universe? Boaster just won a 1v2 clutch versus Aspas.
That's fucking wild, like.
Yeah.
That is
it feels
insane.
Like, someone moved a chair a few million years ago and we've ended up here, but he's always been good with the Operator, to be fair. Just shows it every once in a while, and the main thing was not falling for the bait. Waiting for that time to be low enough that even if Aspas had let go, it was all irrelevant. And after a poor map one and a shaky start to this map, and now finally starting to see what we expect from Fnatic, the team that on this half of Abyss absolutely battered RRQ.
Yeah, and well, the attack half, I think Boaster was 13-1. He died a single time. Still time for that performance.
Yeah. He didn't use an op though, at least to my memory.
Don't think so, no. Certainly not in the bonus round. Good deep dive from Kayak. I mean, he's been doing well with this stun. It's going to catch a few again, but he takes quite a bit of damage through that cage. It doesn't seem to matter. I mean, MIBR have such a heavy disadvantage in every fight they go for. As soon as those advantages are there for Fnatic, this becomes an unlosable round.
This is fucking unreal what's happening right now.
Still, Fnatic are going to want to keep this one nice and clean, a chance to really build up some of those ultimates as well. Hunter's Fury already available, and Convergence Path. The way layout, just one away. That's why Kayak is on the hunt. He would like that ult for the next round. He's going to get it. I thought maybe he'd get it by dying, but no. It really has been a turnaround in the second half for him. He's now 14-10, which, considering I would say like 8 or 9 rounds in, I think he was 2-7.
Yep.
That's a really big resurgence from a critical player. Especially when you look at his role in this fight. If he's not taking that space, they're cooked.
Well, the win certainly picking up. Come on! In favor of Fnatic. It's carried them into the lead, a 9-7 after a 7-5 half. Now the rifles come out from MIBR. Now the op is in the hands of Aspas, and this has to be where things change for the defensive side. America's number 4 chose to fight on this map. Mistake that RRQ evidently made up against Fnatic.
The Prod said they've got this on the stage as well.
Yeah.
Don't worry, no one will clip that if you lose.
But it's hard not to feel confident after the schooling that they gave Fnatic in map number 1. It certainly feels like they've woken the beast.
Oh, immediate trade.
Fucking yes,
the Operator.
Man.
Convergence Path's going to go through, but there's nobody in this position. And I'm wondering if we might just see Jenem step right back in. He does. That's such an important kill. It gives them the advantage. Puts them on the front foot. I'm looking at where Fnatic are going. They're looking to try and get a little bit more aggressive, but the drone's so impactful. Using it a little earlier, we saw them struggle with that on the attack card.
Oh,
swinging!
man, what the
All
fuck?
right, they're looking like a completely different team to map number 1, just taking
This
the
is
firefight.
insane,
okay,
man.
sure, it's still individualistic, bitch, but now it works.
Some explosive
This is
impact from the
fucking
IGL
wild.
Boaster. That operator being picked up has made a hell of a difference, and for MIBR, not quite the difference they were looking for. Even the way the round starts out, Aspis looking for a pick on mid, he gets one, instant trade from Boaster.
Yeah.
Aspis who? Not Boaster.
All right, okay.
Boaster's
Calm
the Op
down, bro.
Supreme now.
Good luck in your DMs later tonight. I'm going to tell you now, the rest of that sentence is not being translated. It's just those 2 words.
Oh, no. Well, double digits locked in.
Your life has just flashed before your eyes, haven't you? You realize what you've done.
Mistake's been made. A mistake has been made. Aspis has got me. We made content. It was a good time. We're having our laughs.
Yeah, this is you're wasting your time. None of this is being translated. Yeah. No one cares.
It's done. But yeah, double digits for Fnatic now. 3-round lead, and as we've seen from MIBR, once they see that pace picked up on the other side, they're going to call a timeout. This has been 5 in a row for the side of Fnatic now, though.
Wake up, hello! Let's go!
Alpha's having a good time.
That's a dangerous sign.
Yeah, he did die immediately in that round, but he's still there to step up.
Well, he enjoyed what he watched.
Exactly, yeah. He got to see it from every angle. Exactly. Whichever one he chose. It's going to be a timeout for MIBR, and you can understand why. 5 rounds in a row, both the buys that they've had have failed, I want to say miserably. And right now, at least, like they've had advantages in a fair few of these rounds. And then, and these words are going to come out of my mouth, Boaster has then turned around with the operator.
Do you reckon when Alpha died, he was spectating Boaster? Like he went straight to that POV?
No.
I reckon he did just to make fun of him.
Yeah, as if he whips, he's like, bro, I would have.
No pressure, bro, no pressure. I can see it.
They're definitely feeling confident, that's for sure. This attack side of Abyss, well, it's still flawless. We are currently talking about them winning, I don't know, is it 13 rounds in a row on their attack? If you exclusively take their attack rounds.
I was going to say, where have you gotten that from? But yeah,
exclusively their attack rounds on this map.
Yeah.
See if that ends now that I've said it.
Probably. It is a weaker buy for MIBR on Aspis, but that's because he's got a Blade Storm. The rest of the squad armed to the teeth. But the op now on Shenum, thanks to, obviously, the Blade Storm being prioritized. You can't swap that with your teammate.
The same play every time for Kaya, man. It's good.
They're finding the space for
I don't know why they
MIBR
haven't really caught on to it, though.
set up for these retakes, but so far,
They're not even sitting on the side for it anymore.
in favor of that defense.
But they can't
Thing's a bit of
stand
drop.
on that left side of the site because of the breach combination. Already, Hunter's Fury, it's such a tight
I did not expect a kill for
make
that.
their way through Alfia, also in the backlines. It seems like they have a decent idea that there's a player here, but it may not matter. A little bit shaky and actually turning things back now into a 3 versus 3, but that post plant still sits and they haven't managed to deal with that player in the backline. Artsin doing his best. Alfia yet to try swing, but Crashies once again taking over, and Aspas, I think he got lost on the way.
Does appear to be the case. For Fnatic, hey, they'll take it.
He was trying to kill them from off the side of the map. I understand.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was trying to find an angle, and then when there's the one, but then he needs his teammates to not die, otherwise that looks quite silly.
Yeah. Well, he got his one, he traded it out, and the main thing has been it's very difficult for them to fight towards that back of B site, so you having that extra angle to fight from, it got them a pick, a valuable one, but they couldn't capitalize on the space. MIBR,
exact same execute.
They're facing the same attack, and there's no real solution. You know, you get the grab wall there to try to pull them in for the pick on backside, but with that not being offered up, we're back to square one.
Yeah, they've repositioned these trips into a million different places. If you don't have anybody on the left side of the site, you can't kill anyone off of them. We are into this same post bar. Now this time, Cosmic Divide, that's at least going to make things interesting, but look at the Fnatic players immediately running back through into the site, looking to join in, and there's that flank coming through once again. It may not even be needed. The players on the site doing good work. The wraparound from Artsim, but now he's all that remains. And he's completely surrounded. That tap will be heard and quickly cleared. Fnatic's B-site execute is looking unstoppable.
I cannot
That's the only
believe
word I can
the
use in this
U-turn
scenario.
in
Maybe
this game.
impeccable as well.
They haven't won a single fucking round on this half.
Lamar, if they do win this out flawlessly, Mitch, I've just realized how many rounds in a row they would win on that attack side.
I know.
It's exactly the same as versus RRQ.
This is actually cleared it.
Probably that soon.
Yeah, back to back. That's a hell of a feat.
This is it.
Fnatic looking to have corrected
Fnatic
every mistake
close it
from
out
the
right
previous
in this
map. They're
round.
playing together, this team, this unit, looking much sharper.
Aspas is on the fucking...
You're not doing this again.
How about they have to do something?
That's why they've changed it
Retakes
up.
haven't worked, and now it's time to fight for this ground. Fnatic putting a rolling thunder through. There's some utility to cover the fallback.
How the
Aspas
fuck did
makes
he
it
get
out,
away
but they've
with that
lost
one?
Shenum. The cross on mid, caught, and Alpha's out of there for free with the cages. And look at the spike. It hasn't gone through the choke point. Fnatic haven't overcommitted. They haven't taken the same space as before. And now the A site's open for the rotate.
See, and they pull the best player off. I know, they could just go back fucking B.
Of course they're going to rotate. You've lost 2 players in middle. You've got to expect that players are making their move. But I'm looking at the position of Boaster and starting to question, is this a lurk, or is this them going to wrap back through mid? Because this is what Althea has been doing the entirety of the match so far. They know they can get into this position. The only man standing in their way is Verno.
It's going to be a single clear. Alpha on his own, but he doesn't get dropped.
Oh.
Verno was expecting the swing. The PC utility being taken out. Caught him off guard.
30 seconds
No
left.
punish. That means MIBR sit with the disadvantage now as Storm brewing. Not in front of, but all around. Oh, Cortesia. He's stuck in this corner. He can't get out without a big fight. Finds his first. Kron is low, and he'll fall as well. 12 seconds, Spike down. They need to deal with Cortesia, and they will. 7 seconds, Spike makes it to site, and a plant will be secured. Fnatic can still end it here. Aspas, the last man
This is when he
standing,
plays at his
the
best.
final hope of MIBR.
Yes!
The flawless streak
Mate,
continues
fucking
for
yes,
Fnatic.
man.
A dominant showing. A bounce back for the ages on Abyss. And map 3 of Haven's on the horizon.
They are 16-0 on attack
That's
rounds
insane.
on this map. It is definitely looking like their new home turf. And honestly, I'm waiting to see who's going to be the first team to even take an attack round, or a defensive round, I should say, versus this squad.
Well, that's crazy, man.
Nonetheless, we'll be back after the break.
What? Thank you. Feed me, Phil. Feed me. Hello! Wake up, bro! Wake up, hello! Let's go! You getting stressed, eh?
Game Changers. It's about competition, pure happiness. It's like a crazy experience.
We're making history.
It means so much to us. It's good to be back.
I guess we're not what I've been looking for.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are. And as long as I'm good enough,
Everybody's getting a 4K.
I can go as far as I want.
That's what I like to see, baby.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
Oh, it's crazy. Whoa.
What a response from Fnatic. We will be heading to our map 3. For now, I've got Doug here with me. That was a crazy second half of Abyss, and I think Fnatic not losing a single attack side again is ridiculous.
It's insanely impressive, and I think they're showing a lot of the same looks. I mean, you think about that B hit that they would drop with the grab wall and then the stun from Breach almost every round, and it was just so effective. MIBR obviously struggled on trying to play around it, and they just looked so good on the attack. I don't know how they're doing it, but to have a spotless record here on the attack side of Abyss is insanely impressive.
It's ridiculous, and they played a lot of attack sides too, so it's not like, you know, a fake stat of like 1 or 2 rounds.
Right, right.
And the reason we're showing you this Thrifty followed by a ridiculous Ob Clutch is that there's something about Boaster and Abyss, which he was never good on this map as a caller or an individual player, but what is going on?
He hit a different form in this map in particular. You think about this 1v1 right here that he gets against Aspas off the tap. He calls the bluff. He's convinced that he's going to get flanked around, but he plays his timing so perfectly the entire time. And I think Boaster just played at a different level on this map for sure.
We missed the kill. We missed the
that was the
second
important
kill.
one,
There
right?
was
The kill
another
on
one.
Aspas. That's the big one.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I guess outside of Ye, how many Astra attack offers do we even see? It's kind of his thing, right?
Yeah, it's certainly becoming it. Yeah, we don't have very many of them. I think there were so many things that were just going so well. And honestly, Sue, when you get a perfect attack half, there are a number of things that go well for you, right? They're not just off of the back of one player or even 2 players for that matter. And I think for Fnatic, everything was clicking well. Crashies was being Crashies. We've talked a lot about Boaster and what he was able to do, but Alphair was another one who it seemed like he was just single-handedly willing them into spots. His control over mid was so good. Even this round in particular, they knew that the hit was headed B. They wanted to rotate over. Fnatic call a freeze. Alphair catches the rotate across the middle of the map, gets 2 picks. It was perfect.
I'm glad you mentioned Crashies. I think he's had like 30, close to 30 assists already just on the 2 times they played Abyss. Tons and tons of impact. But the question is though, is this gonna dent MIBR's chances at all?
Possibly. I think this was one of my concerns, right? Heading into the series is we've seen how good MIBR look when they're winning and when they're winning real big. But this is the first time we've seen them really get challenged. And so what slips into the back of your mind? Is it your woes of when you look really bad and you bomb out in Toronto and you go 0-3 to start off stage 2? Or are they going to be able to bounce back? I think the mental for this team is the biggest question mark coming into this.
Well, I also have some questions about what was going on, you know, on the team, like you said, from the mental side. Ender actually, fortunately, is standing by with a sideline report.
Thanks, Sue. Yeah, I was able to listen in on Fnatic's comms throughout the game, and I'll tell you what, the start of it was a little bit down for the team. Boaster was uncharacteristically apologetic after he thought he could have done better to win a few rounds for the team, but then the timeouts came in for Coach Milan, and I have to say he was very impactful, had exactly the right macro reads and adjustments they needed to make, and he also said, hey, on the defense side, 4 rounds is great, anything more is fantastic. I'll tell you what, Fnatic, they got 5 rounds, and then the attack half came. And on round 15, Boaster makes the comment the last second, I'm buying it up, guys. And you know what? The response wasn't exactly enthusiastic, but you know what? He came in anyways and got that 1v1, that 1v2, taking down Aspas. And from then on, it was full steam ahead. Boaster Op was fully online, and this Fnatic team was ready to win the game and challenge for map 3. We're going to go back up to the desk and hear a little bit more.
Thank you very much. And, you know, I once remember hearing Alpha saying that he really respected Boaster's op. He felt like, you know, he always trusted that op. But something tells me we're not going to see it on Haven. This is not somewhere that I think he's going to whip it out.
Yeah, probably not, but I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I didn't think it happened on Abyss either.
Yeah,
and
true.
So here we are. I think the big question marks for me were Fnatic got pushed on their map pick. were MIBR going to be able to close things out? No. The second half, the attack side of Fnatic happened. Boaster's attack up happened. I think he carried it for 3 rounds in a row without dying at all. So it wasn't just one round that he found value off of it. I think we head over to Haven, another map that historically has been strong for MIBR, a map where, I mean, if you are going to call a side, right, on what might be stronger or favored heading into it, I think it would lean towards MIBR, but they're on their back foot. They just got pushed. What is the mental like? That's my big question.
Listen, I am just a hater of this comp that isn't on Gen.G. Anyone outside of Gen.G that run this, you know, the comp the Fnatic are bringing, I have not been a big fan. In the EMEA, their defense was absolutely terrible. I don't ever remember a time they managing to get 1 round on the defense, so that's definitely a concern. However, I take it all back because they've changed it out. They've swapped out the Neon for a Yoru. This is the first.
Yeah, and I'm honestly, I agree with you. I think if you're now Gen.G, a lot of other teams struggle with this comp. I think it's because you don't have the Gen.G players on your team, and so much of it is comfort for Gen.G, and that's why it's been so successful for them. And so, but that said, again, MIBR looked really good when they were running this comp. I mean, they were able to really come out of the gate.
They dominated.
Yeah, they're really coming out of the gate swimming. I'm really curious about the Yoru pick in particular. I think obviously they're prioritizing the flash and the ability to dive a little bit more incongruent with some of the scan utility and some of the other flashes that they have at their disposal. And so that feels more like we're fully diving in instead of the brawling out, throw walls up, throw stuns, and swing into things and try to take those fights that Aspas will be.
I love this change of the Yoru on the for Fnatic, because on defense there were times against KCBBL, Kayak was just standing on B, and I could never understand why he would just stand there, you know, like raw dogging the site and just dying over and over again, not even being on the map. So I think this Yoru is going to help them a lot, and I know sometimes on the defense they like giving Kayak the freedom of just saying, wherever you want to go, you can go, we'll play around you. But the defense so far today, though, hasn't been the best for Fnatic.
Yeah, you're right. I'm also, you know, when we were talking about this comp and some of the issues that it has, the Duelist isn't really the problem. Right?
It is for Fnatic on their defense.
Sure. But like, well, people talk about the Viper in particular and how that's like, that's the weird rub, right? And like, is that really the best choice? And so for as much as Fnatic may be making some changes, some minor adjustments, they are still sticking to that core that's been controversial, might be a bit strong, well discussed. I'm curious to see how they play around it.
MIBR have already looked fantastic on this map. And Mitch and Tom, let's see which one of these teams will be going through to playoffs.
One last time, Fnatic up against MIBR. Haven is the final battleground. And if you're MIBR right now, you got to be feeling pretty good. Sure, not about the last map, but going into Haven to decide this, that's set up well for them.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that when looking back at the veto, we saw Fnatic recently playing a bit more Corrode, but decided to ban it out. So I want to see what they've got. They must have known that they'd be coming here very likely after how good MIBR played versus BLG. So the worry will be if they can deal with the problems the BLG did versus this attack side of MIBR, because it was a 10-2 half when they played in their opener.
Yeah, pick your poison really between Corrode and Haven. Aspas had a phenomenal Corrode up against BLG, but Haven looked so good. He said 13-2. The scoreline that ended up closing out in favor of MIBR. It was an attack side from Verno where he was 15-2, closing it out. The man barely died, but he drew his fair share of blood and then some. Keep an eye out for him. But Kayak, we talked about this on the desk, his the defense. The Duelist can sometimes be a bit of a weakness. You can see Kayak drop off. Well, he started out with flying colors, as have Fnatic. A 5 versus 3, and MIBR trying to make up the distance with a deep push, but it's messy.
He got there in the end, and he's got support coming in from behind as well. Maybe didn't even need it. It's the wallbang for Kayak. And I do wonder if the compositional changes to allow him to be that little bit more aggressive. Like, sure, with Neon, I think you can run in with sort of set play utility or little bits of additional things, but I feel like this allows him to be a little bit more on an island. Like, he can push up and quickly get out of there and rotate over to the other side of the map. I also think, looking back at the last map, obviously there are a lot of talking points. But for me, it's Alpha, I think when this team, even when, like, before they played the double duelist, before they played that and he was on this Killjoy, when he was on form on this map, that was when they looked their scariest. And he had a fantastic map too.
Classics across the board for MIBR.
They've done this a lot.
There's no real need to invest further in their mind.
Okay.
They can make it happen with the weak weapons. Shenum's the first, and it's Kayak that gets taken down. The upgrade is only to a Marshall. It's not going to help them out a ton, but it could weaken some players, make
Only
it a bit
a
easier for
Marshall
the Classics.
in Aspas's hand.
Hardly a threat, is it?
No, not when there's one in Boaster's hands. What could you
Sorry?
be worried about?
You're saying?
Already starting to get a little bit scary, but there's Crashies. A wonderful triple spray down. It's still going to be a very costly round, but the rifles will be kept through at least. Quite a bit of damage considering it was only the Classics that they started with. But now this is where we expect things to change a little as the buyback, actually at least looking right now, the buyback from Fnatic is actually quite hefty.
Nice, come on, nice Martin. That's my Brashies right there.
It was mostly Crashies, not so much the Brashies that time, but we'll give it to you anyways. For MIBR, yeah, they're going to get a full investment, credits on the line. But the bonus on Fnatic looking very beefy. As you said, they invested a little bit more. Boaster and Alpha pretty low on credits. But it gives them pretty much equal footing, with the exception of the Stinger on Crashies.
Oh, that's the thing though, Verno has one as well. This is almost bang even, but it is like a full investment into the round. Like, this is a gamble from Fnatic, but maybe it's that surprise element. Okay, you did so much damage, you're expecting pistols, you're expecting weaknesses. Maybe you see the first rifle, you run into another position. And I'm looking where that Stinger has already got to. It's super aggro. Artsin going through this is a pretty serious gamble if he gets caught. But he will just duck out of there. Now, Boaster, is he going to get caught with you till in that? Yes, he is.
Crashies and Kayak are pushed up behind though.
Swapping between the rifle and the util to smoke that gets him in the end. The response from Fnatic, a double push through doors, but it's being watched. Flank covered by Artsin. He'll be caught in the window. Shenum needs to get out of there. Makes it to the corner at least. They know now there's heavy numbers coming from mid. 2 players spotted. Paranoia will be used.
Cover going out.
Even a smoke down there as well. The challenge on the side has to come from Kayak. He's the only player coming from that angle.
Nice, Alpha.
Takes a risk walking through the smoke, but it's worked out. Big advantage for Fnatic. Taken down to equal footing, but Verno on 4 HP is being pushed back, the time ticking. They still have to deal with Aspas in the corner. They've done so flawlessly. It's looking dangerous. Verno had a chance there, but he's fallen all the way back as time has ticked rather all the way to the end. A Red Bull clutch coming in. And the patience there, a margin of 4 HP that gets the round for MIBR.
Yeah, I think as well, just that late round realization from Verno that the clock was gone. Didn't need to stay and fight, didn't need to do anything other than staying alive. And if this was a bonus round, we'd be talking about it as like, okay, that's incredibly costly for the side of MIBR. But as said, that was a fairly heavy investment coming out from Fnatic. It's going to leave them in an interesting spot, but I am looking at the Outlaw. There are 3 players, 1 shot to that gun. Kayak could be a problem.
Positions on short, the drone will be denied by that Viper wall. Won't get any information, but as long as it's not a creep up on long, they're happy enough to give up A control because they'll be walking right into that Outlaw. MIBR, space is taken elsewhere. And really, it's this deep position from Alphia that could be a pretty massive problem. They've got the turret down. This turret's covering the walk up in Garage as well as the alarm bot, so it's not even about taking out one piece of utility. You'll also have to deal with that turret or smoke it off if you want to take the space for free.
A little bit of extra information, but doing anything more than that's going to be difficult. The battle of Alpha and Genum could be in Tegra. I think that was actually a dink that was just connected through the wall, so already getting tickled a little bit. And the patience of Alfie are going to be everything. The spot is being checked though. Genum very careful. Time starting to tick. Chronicle wants to try and make a play, and he may have just made the play of the round. A quick double. Boaster now gets another, and 20 seconds left on the clock. I think MIBR might just have to make the decision to retreat here. That aggressive peek through from Chronicle has just ended the round in its tracks.
Especially after they saw Alphier on long and no contest on the utility being broken other than a spam from the defender side of Garage. You don't expect someone to be that deep on the site. And even if they are, you don't expect them to just go walking through that smoke. It's a huge gamble. But it pays off massively for Chronicle.
Just the way that he put down that Viper screen. Like, it was basically just to give them that back sight almost for free. Like, placing it so that, okay, it gives you the cross onto the door as well in Garage so that you can constantly try and make things awkward for them.
This Volg, bro?
But then he uses that wall to actually get himself a little bit of extra space.
Kron almost as surprised as MIBR were there to see him. A 3-1 start. Strong display from Fnatic. MIBR put their credits on the line. 3 rifles bought, but they're left with 2 pistols. It doesn't seem to matter. They've almost overrun this C site.
Look at the damage, though.
And the stun is perfect. Kayak is completely stuck in place, but he caught Aspas anyways. And Boaster's there to help out. The retake on the site before the spike even made it. And even the flank from Crashy's insult to injury. MIBR, they've been flattened.
Yeah, I think it was a TP as well from Jenem. I bet he wish he had that online right now. He's not going to be able to retrieve the spike, but I think it was the initial damage, maybe by Alphia, that was done. So even though that stun was perfect onto Kayak, he needed to land a single bullet. And now, well, Jenem's just going to peek into an off-angle Crashies. Fnatic on that defensive side have got off to a flying start, which, considering at times that was their real detriment, versus BBL back regionally. 1-9 on the defense. Versus Heretics, they had a similar fate, 1-10 on the defense. It was always their attack sides that looked strong. And I'm not surprised that after the last time they played, MIBR getting a 10-2 half, well, I can tell you for free, even if you're a mathematician, that is out of the question.
And a timeout will be called by MIBR. Realizing the dire straits, they now navigate.
Very quiet, MIBR.
Economy in the bin. Saying it's already bad with the 4
no more
rounds
shit
for
talking
Fnatic.
from them.
That same success we've seen from MIBR now denied, but it can get even worse. It should get even worse with this round, a seeming weakness. I'll probably be discussing the plans for the next. We're made in Brazil. 2-0 against BLG. 13-5 on Fnatic's map pick. It looked like they were a shoe-in. Even that first half on Abyss, there were moments there. 7-5 at the halftime with the pistol under their belt. Sure, it's still a close game. But since then, it's been nothing but Fnatic colors.
Oh, yeah. There was also a round that Verna almost won them with an Odin in, what was it, 2v5? Like, there were moments where they could have been out of sight in that first half. But that's all in the past now. I felt like this pause was needed. Out from Frod, it was mentioned on the desk by Doug that the man needs a raise. I'll be honest, after map 1, I could definitely understand it. They looked impressive, but nothing has been guaranteed so far in this tournament, and just because they've looked so good, it doesn't mean that if they fall to the lowers, that they will get out.
Huge shock dart damage early on. And it's really Aspas we're looking at. The ult popped, the only saving grace of this round. He has to do so much with it, even walking through the snake fight, and he'll find himself 2, weakens up Crashies, but Kayak, each barrel as deadly as the next. He set them up for success, and Alphier's hammered it home.
You can't do
Bro, what in the fuck, man?
You gotta save that one for when Benji's on the other side of the stage. You can't be doing that now.
They want this game so bad. Yo.
What a round. Such a great start from Aspas to be able to get them into position, but in the past on this map, they ran the double duelist of... I wouldn't want to high-five him after that.
Yeah, I'd back out of that interaction.
But the fact is, it is, well, the players who played the double duelist, Kayak and Alphia, that saved them from what could have been an immediate return after the pause. That would have certainly got the win back in the sails of MIBR. Instead, it's a decent round, but not a win.
This is the round that most hope sat with. Rifles for MIBR, immediate responses. They look to take the site control. The paranoia was sent through. Now from the attack side, the same. Around the left side, they look to fight as Alpha dodging the paranoia that had been sent in, took his
Yes,
space, crashes,
man.
lands on the Cortesia, and looks for
Crashes.
more. He's finding two. MIBR, half the numbers of their opponent at 2 versus 4, and nothing to show for it.
This is the outfit.
MIBR are fucking lost,
I
bro.
remember rounds where he used to just jump out of the window and garage, spray down 3. Like, he's in that sort of gamble mode. I'm willing to fight anyone at any moment, in any place, at any time. He walked in when they didn't even know how much of the site they'd already lost. Now sits alone on the A site. That's one of the few gaps. As if they can clear this man, they have a chance. But with the alarm bot down, he's buying time. An immediate rotation. Verno's done well. This now definitely makes things that little bit more interesting. But the HP, it's going to be a little bit lower. A missed shot. And a chance for Artson to take that extra space.
But now they've got it. Oh! Cross onto the side.
Oh!
It's looking easy. Artson, all 3 for him.
That was clean, by the way.
He has just pulled out a big play right when they needed it. All the credits on the line, a full investment, and a streak from Fnatic. It was building up some serious heat, but they have snuffed out those sparks of hope.
Again, just perfect decision-making on the target that he chose. Isolated 1v1s and won every single one of them. Spoke about the confidence of Fnatic, but it might have just taken a beating. A 2 versus 4 that has gone the way of MIBR. Of course, the economy of Fnatic is nowhere near as damaged as that of the other side. Kayak now with the operator in hand. He might just get the first for free, but Verno is not going to give him the angle.
Seems there's no shortage of players who can rewrite the script in these rounds. MIBR need to build on the confidence that they just found in that previous round. Even coming into this with weaknesses, full ultimates for Fnatic. Full rifles as well.
Alpha's playing contact off his turret over on short. They'll likely be losing the space on the site itself, but again, time is being bought. Hunter's Fury being used. A little bit out of distance will be Aspas, so it's not going to have the play, but that contact is still there from Alfir. He goes swinging a little bit early, though, wary that he might be losing the site and wants to try and join up with his team.
Well, they're going to double up on that short fight, but the wraparound from MIBR sends Aspas straight into the mixer. Alfier falling with just 1, and Kayak, he'll try to escape, but he can't quite activate the ult in time. In fact, he activated it just in time to lose it. And Cortesia seals the deal for MIBR 3 to 5
Bro, you're dripping,
now.
man. You're a bot.
This was looking like a damning start from them, but they found what they needed in that pause.
I think they've just been patient, and then the follow-up of Artson every time. Like, Aspas is taking the space.
Got great
Gets
energy.
the openers, but
I've
he's the
sat
man
here and
that's
said fuck
dancing
all, bro.
within all of that chaos. Coming out with a 3K
And
in back-to-back rounds.
you're all good, man. I'm not gonna join your
It took some
Discord.
time, it took a pause. And a couple in a row, but MIBR are most certainly back in this map.
Oh yeah, they've built up enough steam now. They've done enough damage that Fnatic, they don't have a lot to invest. Weaknesses, but that won't stop them from pushing. Look at this, A-long, C-long, both taken deep by Fnatic, playing that early info game. The gate crash soon to fade away. It's going to be a rotate far from the A side as well. If Kayak takes it, he's out of the action, and it's now faded. No fallback anymore. Kayak is stuck with the ground he's taken. He's alone as well. No one else anywhere near long. Tucking in, hoping he isn't cleared. He's going to be spotted. How much more can he get? Just the 1. But crashes from afar makes it costly.
This round, they may have lost the rifle, but the man advantage, and still crashes in the off angle. He's landing a second shot already. Individually hoping to drag the team through, but they're also being locked in from behind. A wraparound. Cortesia in a bit of trouble, but does well. Manages to isolate a fight, but he's seeing it now. He realizes Crashies is trying to bait him into the jaw. Alfia still on that flank, but can't beat King because the turret's waiting. Still manages to land the shot and looks for a little more. It is Alfia and Crashies that deliver the
What are these guys
Mastercard
fucking
50.
doing, bro?
And well, it seems like that
These were
comeback was
all over
short-lived.
us in the first game. These were all over us in the first half of the second game.
Seems like MIBR did
And
the hard work, but
mindset has just meant
they
fucking
stumble on the easy
shit,
pass.
bro.
For what should be.
They're struggling,
This was
man.
their chance to pull it back to just a one-round difference.
30 seconds left.
To keep this close to even at half in the worst-case scenario, but now Fnatic right back into things with a MasterCard Thrifty. We've talked about the ultimates. There's still a lot online, and this round will start with the Viper's Pit securing this C-side. Look how much ground that covers as well. C-Long and Garage walkout covered. The turret watching for the walk into Garage. The alarm bot covering C-Long. I mean, they can stack heavy towards A in this late round.
Of course. The worry is if this short control is lost, the likelihood is so will the A site. Lockdown available
You should run.
for Cortesia. Immediately thrown into play. Counter will be put through, but then Hunter's Fury used as the trap card to that. It means that there needs to be a retreat into the corner. While Artsin already chasing Crashies, though he found a gap. That gap was enough to give them 2, and the retreat back from Kayak means that the man advantage sits with Fnatic.
But the Pit, that's where things can change, but it's the Viper fighting up close. Artsin needs to win this fight, and he will. Shenum elsewhere, lands one towards heaven.
One enemy remaining.
And now it's falling apart for Fnatic. Chronicle, he wants to save this weapon, but they don't want him to. Still, you can't push much further into this, or you give him a chance of actually winning the round. So that operator carried forward, or should be. Chronicle has the choice to just run away, but he wants to make it more costly if they'll offer up the duels. Fair enough. A back and forth couple of rounds, though. MIBR showing that no matter what they come into the round with, they've always got the potential to fight back.
Yeah, I think this was one that they desperately needed. Firstly, just because there was a chance for the scoreline to slip away, but also you can't use 3 of the most high-impact ults in the game and not win the round. The lockdown was there to get in. The Hunter's Fury was there to deny the opponents. And then the Viper's Pit was there to make it impossible. The fun fact, though, is that Shenum did end up doing a lot of the work, like catching out the players outside of the pit. That was going to be the bigger problem with the gap that was left, but he did fantastically well. Now moves up to the top of the board for his team. Even still, though, Fnatic do have a purchase, and I think the loss here for either side will put their economy in the dust.
This could be the round that decides the score at the halftime. Still potential for a big lead from Fnatic. And now MIBR have to make this push happen with limited ultimates. Shenum can still go up into heaven. That's exactly what he's going to do. Taking that control deep. Avoids it once the reveal comes through. And so they lose that little bit of space, that little dagger in the back, as it should have been.
Crashies have been playing so smart so far. And his aim has been there alongside. Already spotting 2 pushing up. He is going to get caught, but falls back, doesn't want to overface. The worry is if Kayak's going to get out of here in time. Already, though, Crashies is back in. Swinging off the back of the utility. Aspas trying to hold on, but the rest of the team is still choked out, looking to make it in. They need to try and win this fight, and even the Classic has found a dink. Almost makes it too easy in the end. An immediate response out of the side of Fnatic, and as said, Mitch, that round was so important for how this half is going to be delivered.
Well, this was just great stall as well, coming in from Chronicle. He throws in a snakebite alongside the poison orb on A-Long, and that leaves Aspas isolated for so long. It lets them deal with the rest of the squad, turn their attention to Aspas in full focus. Good, like 3 players fighting him there.
More older than BIGL, bro. Come on.
Hey, he's been doing a pretty good job.
Well, a lot more needed for MIBR. And look at the weaknesses here. As we said, that round carried so much weight for Fnatic. Artsin, oh, he's caught.
Spike down mid.
Well, he managed to catch Kayak off. He managed to dodge the shot, but he won't take the kill. Kayak hitting the full gate crash out of there while they're being picked apart towards B in the window towards Garage as well. MIBR getting nothing for their trouble, as it seems like Fnatic have found their second win.
This is looking like a a very rough position to fight back from. Cortesia 2 and 10. He's been having a tough game. He'd need to put that number up significantly. And he's got Hunter's Fury literally hunting him down. The half will end 8-4, and Fnatic go in with a substantial lead.
That's a pretty flawless act from Fnatic. A 4-round lead at the halftime. A big resurgence from this squad, looking completely different than the team we saw on Bind. Now all that's left to do is close this out after the break.
One enemy remaining.
Target acquired.
The freedom to choose when you work, where you work, and yeah, it's you know, the flexibility.
That JTI hires people for their attitude, for their potential, for what they can become.
This is the first place I've worked where from day one, it was really clear that I could just be myself.
Welcome back, folks. 8-4 at the halftime. Fnatic have quite a substantial lead after looking down and out of the game on their pick Bind. We're here on the final map. One of these teams will be heading straight to playoffs, and for Fnatic, it's just a couple rounds away now.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Coinbase Ecom report. It has definitely been a, well, I'd say a game of two halves within the half, like a couple of moments that came out for Artsim, but the man I was highlighting throughout, Alfie has been on form. And he has been causing issues to, well, if you look at the damage dealt, mostly Aspas, which, when that's the case, that's always going to be difficult. He is the tip of the spear on that attack side. And for the defense of MIBR, we didn't really get to see much of it. When they played against BLG, it was a 3-0 second half, but they need to really dig deep, and I think it's going to have to start with a pistol round, otherwise this game might just be too far gone.
Well, it was looking like such a comfortable map for them, and yet they're streaking together 2 rounds at most. They're finding one here or there. Looking lost when it comes to finding solutions, which certainly wasn't a problem on Bind. But Fnatic have tightened up the ship. They've started to play together. They've found that form again as a team. And this is where they look the most dangerous. You back them into a corner, and they have fought you right back to yours. Now it's MIBR who have to make the bounce back. And it starts with this pistol round.
Seems like a mid-walk is the play. That turret already giving the game away, though. Even the expectation of, okay, it technically shot at the second player, it doesn't matter, because if you're the Fnatic players, you're going to start spamming that wall. Already gone, but Aspas is going to try and stick around. Now, he can't go any further because the alarm bot is waiting. Is Alfia going to ego peek him? Is that the swing, or are they going to try and wrap round behind? Just look at the players in mid. They now know he's here. There really isn't an escape. There's no way back. He almost managed to take one with him, but careful. Fnatic have dealt with the danger. Now 4 stand in their way.
The slow attack side, a staple of this team. Their downfall when it came to Bind. It's already paid off here in the pistol, and this will be a nail in MIBR's coffin. Not the final one, but one that will certainly hurt. 9-4, a potential 10-4 scoreline, and a massive comeback. They still have hope of taking this pistol. The stack up towards the A side.
30 seconds left.
Although Spike is not going with these players, this looks to be a ruse on A.
You don't normally see fakes when you already have a man advantage. They're trying to pull all that utility, and to be honest, that's exactly what they've done. They've already got rid of the paranoia that was sent in to try and deny this late play. Artsim, oh, it needs to be more. It's a little bit whiffy. He'll at least get his one, but the fact is, when you're already a man down and a post plant, and just look at some of the positions that are there for Fnatic, Boaster, he might even just be setting up a paranoia from behind. I think he's going to do it potentially through the wall. That's exactly the case. Just leave them blind, but there's nobody currently on the spike. A one-way also in play, and now he looks to wrap around. They knew he was coming. The paranoia gave it away, but it doesn't seem to matter. This man has been impeccable on the attack sides, and Cortesia, it's not even enough time.
No, he's already gone. Denying orbs, maybe the best that he can do, finding one for himself, but that spike will confirm the round for Fnatic. 9 on the board, another pistol, and this injection of rounds, well, it makes an already steep climb into an almost impossible ascent.
Oh, we didn't need that slow mode. We didn't need that. I love this flank. I love the paranoia coming through from the back as well. So much more difficult
you know
to
what
avoid.
Happened? I'm shooting. I have zero shots. Bro.
I like the bro. 9-4. Again, it's only classics. Fnatic at this point should know that there's not really been much investment into these rounds from MIBR, so all you need to really do is find out where the stack is, which at times is easier said than done, but on a 3-site map, plenty of opportunities.
Well, the rhythm building here on the attack side. Should be an easy conversion, as again we see MIBR go for this 0 investment.
Not this time.
Full classic round. Even the risks being taken here. It's the one player from Fnatic with a pistol who'll go walkabouts, and yeah, they take him down, but only a Sheriff to be retrieved. Let's see if that comes back to haunt them.
It's going to be the group up of Kayak. Now, I like the rotation that's already come in. Cortesia on C. Drone going to be sent in towards Garage, but the probing is looking like a B site hit once again, doubling down on what they did in the pistol. And normally this is the site that has a bit more ease in terms of the retakes, but when you don't have any guns, that becomes incredibly difficult.
Yeah, I think it's an easy choice to play down towards mid. The only thing to be cautious of is Shannon putting down a smoke, making it hard to deny that defuse. So you're going to see kind sticking around. Gate crash enables him to get out quick, and Shannon's the one to fall. The smoke on the right side, just blocking off one of the angles, making it much more difficult for Aspas, and with nothing to obscure vision, that defuse should be impossible.
Out of charges.
And in fact, with how slow MIBR are playing, I wouldn't be surprised if, again, their game plan is just deny these orbs. Kayak's already in a position where, with that death, he's 2 away from the dimensional drift. A very valuable ultimate to have online. The rest will just go down to the spike.
Yeah, and I want to give credit where it's due as well. I think since that second half of Abyss, Kayak has come alive. I think he was definitely missing in the first series. First map as well, I was definitely worried, but now sits atop the board alongside Crashies. And this is the terrifying prospect when you play against Fnatic. If every single player is online, you are done. Like, they have so much experience, so much talent. And for MIBR, 6 rounds behind, both pistols lost. Only 2 in a row currently brought together at a time. And they need a serious streak of rounds to show us that they are still in this match.
Well, this is it. It's becoming more and more difficult for MIBR, but this has to be the final stoppage point for the defensive side. Their last stand of sorts, a full investment. Fnatic looking at 11 and possibly 12 rounds on the back of a win here, and Kayak will be isolated on A. While there's presence shown towards Garage, right? So this is clear to MIBR. They're facing a slow default. You're also facing Fnatic, so you expect that. So there's no need for over-rotations with that man advantage.
Patient play, of course, there's still a buy in the next round for Fnatic. Artzin needs to at least get one here, and he will. Looking for a little bit more. The spam doesn't work out, but he has support, and Alfia desperately low on HP, hoping for a miracle spray of his own. It leaves Chronicle left, but he's on the other side of the map. Maybe just hoping to sell some sort of ruse, hoping for the backstab probably later into the round, but wow. He might get a backstab, but I don't think he's going to be winning this one. And even the backstab seems unlikely. Look at Verno's position. He is well aware of the ground that could have been lost.
Yeah, holding on to the weapon here, I think, holds the most
10
value
seconds left
for Chronicle. Still be capable of a full buy in the next. Not out of danger just yet, but that is a great step towards success for MIBR. 10-5, now half the rounds that their opponents have put on the board. They need to keep this up with rifles in hand. And this one, again, what we've seen, especially looking at Bind, is how good MIBR have been against that slow play from Fnatic, against those defaults on Fnatic's attack side. You start to wonder if we could be seeing a quick round from...
Nice, boys. Nice. Let's go. Let's
go back to side coming into this next one. That might be the solution.
Well, I think as well, the way they play Bind, it felt like a lot of it was very reliant on their executes, maybe waiting to see if there was aggression from the double duelist. I don't think that's the case on this map. They know they need to pressure a little bit more, and especially with the Viper in play, they can shroud a lot of that. Artsin, though, okay. This C-site long control has worked out wonderfully. Maybe hoping to get the orb onto Kayak, have that dimensional drift. Verno is even going to spot 2 more players, and then for Fnatic, it almost comes down to, okay, we can't just rush into this A-site anymore, even with our players going down on the other side of the map.
Yeah, which is a shame as well, because for MIBR, this round was 1A, 1B, and 3 players on C long. Like, that firing squad completely overwhelmed the, again, slow approach they were going for. Methodically clearing out this map did not work for Fnatic. But they'll go back towards C, and now the rotations have already come in. 2-2 and not even a 1 towards C, as it's a very passive one. Cortezio. But they're not hitting there. I mean, they have no information to work with. A save might even be the best play in the 3v5 just because of where their economy is.
Wait, I don't mind the way MIBR is setting up either. It's just like that C site has always been one of the easier to retake. Obviously, the long post plant used to be the aim of the game, but that's not really going to work out for them. And for MIBR, having a clean round, it basically, especially with the way that the game is going, how far behind they are and the likelihood of consistent buys, having one before your reset is so important. So them just keeping everybody standing, not going to risk any of those ults. And sure, you can see the players starting to have a little bit of a peek, have a look around, see if they can find any of these remaining players. They will not be able to. A couple in a row for MIBR. Still one hell of a road left to walk on. But the fact is, Fnatic are now going to go back in. And the likelihood as well, yeah, I was going to say, Kayak's just going to buy up with an SMG, probably have a shorty in his back pocket, and then try and make a play with that ult.
That's the other thing, right? You have those 3 weapons. You want to save them because one other player can buy, and you've got a dimensional drift on Kayak who's dead, but if he's alive at start of round, that weaker weapon doesn't matter whatsoever. Even the Stinger can be so useful coming out of the dimensional drift. Early aggression from MIBR. 3 players on C last round. Now it's a 3-man push-up onto A-Long, and the steps being baited by Aspis. He's playing further back, breaking the drone, and they've already spotted 1 more player. The 3rd shouldn't be expected, and it is Verno. Luckily, he wasn't hit by the vulnerable.
Oh, they are fighting this tooth through.
It's a big fight.
Yeah, aggressive push up from Aspas to try and help out, and he's managed to keep things even, at least for now. The rotation from the remaining players coming through that B site. 2 still standing for either side. Artsin from above. Crashies is watching for this, but he will eventually have to plant the spike. Even still, though, he's the one to take damage. And Cortezia has made it through. I don't know if the barrel was actually spotted. It was. And the Snakebite has bought a little bit of extra time, but Boaster is there. Another high-impact round from him on this attack side. And now Fnatic just 2 away from claiming victory and making it into the top 8.
It was a great play from MIBR. I love the idea to go so aggressive on A-Long. They haven't tried that with those kind of numbers before. But Fnatic are so vigilant in clearing those corners and taking every single fight as if the stack was there. A wonderful read. And Scotland up to 11.
The Brashies is back.
But here we see the value now for MIBR of having that clean round previously, of having that flawless. They can still invest, and they need to. A loss here, and the map is likely gone, the series with it.
Oh,
yes.
Aspas buying up an operator. That was meant to be the decisive factor of this round, him claiming A control. That's why you see them with a lot of personnel elsewhere, and Kayak has just walked in, domed him in the first seconds of the round. That's such a huge pick to start things off.
It's Fnatic that can afford to take those risks, being 11-6 up. A little bit of bravado, a little bit of confidence on display. Verno, the man who was 15-2 on the attack side when MIBR played it. He is certainly struggling here. The whole team is, it looked like a style mismatch when it came to Bind, but Fnatic looking like the far stronger team in these last two.
Yeah, we've seen the individuals step up, and one of them has been Kayak. That second half of Abyss has lit a fire beneath the rookie. Feels weird calling him a rookie at this point. But the fact is, 2 kills already, dominating that A-long control, and Alfier is just waiting. That's it, he's just patient. Finally makes his move, but has escaped the corner without Jenem even realizing that time starting to tick down, and actually Artsin has caught out Chronicle. With 20 seconds left on the clock, Jenem's position could be a nightmare for Fnatic. If he manages to win this fight, he might just be able to drop the spike. Already knows the players are looking to try and make the move. He's caught one. Still sat in the corner. That time starting to tick away. They need to get in here, and the time surely is gone. MIBR, from the depths of defeat, have somehow stepped up.
Another important round for this squad. Their credits were on the line, and they lose opening picks towards that A site, but what an opening from Kayak. The fact that they don't fully rotate to the A, the fact that they stick around on B, the fact that you even had this bait coming from Cortesia behind. He was the one spamming down towards mid. It really, especially with the space on the A site, you'll never assume that there's a second player on B tucked in the corner, but good note-taking from MIBR that Fnatic have been favoring that B site plant in late rounds when they don't have control.
But that's the thing, it's like, it's always the saying of like, one team playing checkers and the other playing chess. But I feel like in this case, the checkers team won. It was just stick to what you were doing. And Fnatic, I felt like they overthought it. It's easy to say from our perspective, but when you get those 2 openers, it felt like the round was already over.
Alpha's feeling it today.
He's been chased down, but look at what it's done. From potentially 12-6, and maybe the economy even broken on the other side, especially after they bought an operator in the last round, to 11-7, only pistols available, and a chance to, well, close that gap even further for MIBR. They now have a chance.
Let's see if Fnatic can take advantage of the crescendo of chaos with pistols flooding the site. It's a bloodbath to start, and none of it drawn in favor of Fnatic. Boaster and Alpha left alone, clinging on for dear life is the IGL on short. 25 HP, and it feels like that shorty will be what takes him down. 12 seconds, and even if he finds one, the impact negligible. He goes for the knife kill, but the blade meets 2 barrels. 11-8 with a flawless round. MIBR buying themselves a safety net.
That one was important. Same as the last. Keep things nice and clean. Get some of that confidence back. A big victory from a huge deficit. And now that 4 of the last 5 have gone the way of MIBR, even if maybe round 18 should have been theirs, Fnatic are going to take a pause. Maybe some of those characteristics from the first map starting to slip in a little bit. And with how much of a lead they've had, and well, if anything, based on history going into their favored side of the map, they don't want to give anything over to MIBR, because the second that game starts to get close, the second those players start to believe, and when hope's on your side, well, another wise man once said, belief is everything. Kind of.
Wise man? Yeah, I was gonna say. Another man said that. Some other dude.
Some dude, yeah. Scott knows him quite well.
Well, 3 rounds in it. Fnatic making use of that timeout, but You got to think, last time they sat opposite Aspis on that champion stage, it was a defeat for the core of Fnatic. They'll remember that. With rounds building up in favor of the defense, they're not far from a painful reminder of just how it felt.
Go, go, go.
They are still in the lead, but it does feel like those last couple could have been a momentum shift. Aspas has been mostly shut down. The last time he had an operator, he lasted about 5 seconds in the round before his head was ripped off. This time he's looking to stick to that aggressive position, but he's been caught. Tagged low, and Kayak looking to lead the charge, but they fall back and Genom is waiting.
Well, the spark's being lit for MIBR, and they are fanning it into a flame. Veritable inferno for the defense.
There.
An opening found, but Aspis tagged low. Fnatic losing Alfier is a lot of control lost. They have to stick around these mid positions. They have to be worried about a C flank. But it looks like, again, favoring the B site. They will be shifting their way up, but in a 4v5, they still have Kayak and Chronicle playing on the extremities. It's going to leave them weak if they do decide to push this B site.
The bait, the fake TP into the B site didn't bait the rotation, maybe in the way they expected. Viper's Pit instead goes down over on the A site. It shuts down where they can rotate. Bear in mind, Aspas is still holding on to that cross, but he will be smoked off. Stun available, and again, it's starting to get into those late round positions. Bear in mind, there is a Hunter's Fury available. Now maybe in the C site it's not going to work. I don't know. 12 seconds, if they are going to go for it, it has to be now, and they're running into the site. Hunter's Fury is coming through behind them. They're taking damage on the way in, and yeah, already another being caught. The round is just over. Sometimes you feel like it's Fnatic versus MIBR, other times you feel like it's Fnatic versus the clock.
That's after a timeout, Tom. I mean, you see them in garage. You've not baited any utility on C. You know that the Killjoy's holding there. You know they've got a Hunter's Fury. Your economy's in the bin. Why would you push that? That's absolute madness. I know this team's comfortable playing against the clock, but hell, throw your weapons off the map and run up mid backwards at that point. That is madness. At this stage of the game, this late. And they've just given MIBR the 3rd round in a row. First time we've seen more than 2 chained together for MIBR, and they should be getting another. As now Fnatic are on a light buy. This is a disaster of their own making.
Fnatic do it here.
The series,
a half buy. They play smart on a half buy.
Fnatic's biggest enemy is themselves, or time. You can look at it either way. But they said, give that little bit over, and MIBR begin to believe they can turn this back. In fact, I think they're fully in at this point. The timing of the Hunter's Fury from Verno was sublime. I was worried he'd be too far away, but because they got caught in that garage choke,
they're not showing anything on like the other side, so.
A rifle dropped over to Kayak. And a chance for him to be the hero he's been in so many rounds for this squad. They're still walking into a fairly stacked up site, and this is the amount of times that a player has been caught by that peak. And while Genom's actually just going to go back in for more, he's going back in for everything!
Obviously there's weaknesses here for Fnatic in terms of the weapons. They only had the 1 rifle, but I don't care what's in their hands. It's the manner of how they're playing these rounds. They look lost in that previous. And the same here, Boaster setting up utility, there's no one even close by. Genom's in with a 4K, and these have been big momentum builders for MIBR. They are chaining these rounds together, and a big problem with Bind is it seemed like Fnatic, they couldn't come up with solutions, they completely stalled out. And if I just look at the last 2 rounds, it looks like that's happening again. I mean, how last round was a rookie quarterback stream, a step-by-step on how to throw.
Let's go, boys!
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
11 to 10. They're still in the lead. Come in with a lot of ultimates getting either close or already online. Aspas' operator back in play once again, and early control already gathered up towards the A side. That's probably where they would have hoped.
Yeah, that's what it is though, is because he's got the
It
up.
might be our side that Aspas would be. Instead, he's taking full seat control. They're going to start boxing them in. Look at the rotation already happening from this defensive side. They've gambled a player over and again. This top box has been top shelf for the side of MIBR. That's another opener from that position.
This is it, man. This is money invested for Fnatic. MIBR might be pushing up to 12 if they lose this. 1 minute on the clock. So don't expect a push for the next 40 seconds or so, but it looks like they will get ahead of it. Reveal's going through, ready to break into this side, but Hunter's Fury's going to have to land, have to find its mark. It's one man, but there's so many more on the side itself. Oh, nice work from Kayak, nice work from Chronicle. Fnatic back on the horse at last. That shock dart could be deadly. Chron just about dodges it.
Now they have some pretty high impact potential ults to use. Dimensional Drift if they want the info, but I think they might just gamble the pit. It's definitely being considered. The blockade of Kayak put into play, and in the meantime, Alpha's dropped another. It seemed like they might be on their last legs, but instead, Fnatic fight back in force. Cortesia with no chance of turning this round. Well, Alpha will go looking.
I don't know why.
Hoping, I think it was, to get that ultimate online. The rest of the players are going to sit back and wait. And that will be Kayak with his third. A brilliant round from him individually, even if at times Fnatic may have fumbled. This guy has been solid.
Yeah, closing out the 4 versus 5. It really seemed like Fnatic had gone silent in these last couple of rounds. Barely a sign of life, but every note fell into place here. Having the pit online to further lock it down when players were tagged so low. Couldn't agree with Boaster more.
Nice Chron as well.
That was a huge round for Fnatic, a much needed one. And we will have the final timeout for MIBR called here and now. Trailing by 2, but still in with a shot. They've got the full investment, a couple of ultis as well. They're facing off against the same.
But that's the thing. Like when you have that 4-round streak, or even 6 of the last 7, you kind of look at it and go, okay, we're in the game, we're running them down, we're building momentum, we're getting further and further into the game and closer, and then they hit map point. And that can be a breaking point, and I think Prod knows it. It is exactly when he should be taking this pause, not that there's many other opportunities to do so. And if he can find the words that rallies the troops, we've seen some brilliant play. Artson, Jenem especially in this final map have been superb. Can they streak the final 2 together? They have shown they are a competitor, even versus the best of the best. This is a team that went out 0-4 in maps at the last event versus a team that finished 2nd. It should be a caliber diff, but it definitely hasn't been.
No, not even close. A 2-round gap for MIBR. Ground to be made up. They're coming off the back of a big streak. Interrupted by Fnatic here. Right as they were about to probably claim the lead. As we said, still able to get that full investment.
Well, drone has been deleted. Fnatic right back to this slow pace. And Aspas, I feel like he's cursed. He's on the wrong side of the map every single time. Dimensional Drift being used. Bear in mind, there's also a lockdown on either side. The attack one goes in first, but is there going to be an immediate response? There is.
That's spammed. A lot of damage. Alpha's lucky to still be alive. TP used in the backside. It spotted Artson. He's running for his life, but he'll be caught, and that is not a good look. Blood in the water immediately as Artson falls.
Deploying drone.
A little bit more needed for Fnatic to close this one out. Dive in from Jenem. Presents a danger, and Kayak's the one to eat the bullet on the other side. Trades back and forth. The Sharks are circling here for Fnatic. Hungry for that final kill. One last strike, and playoffs is theirs. The series along with it. This started out terribly. They had to climb their way back in. And the slide in from Aspas may undo all their hard work. Chronicle in a 1 versus 1. A single show to lock in playoffs. And he will strike the final blow. 2-1. Fnatic win it with a Red Bull clutch.
That's the guy you want in those late round scenarios. That's the guy that saves the day. So clean with it at the end. 7 HP is all that was left. Before that could have been a response. And while this squad on the other side of MIBR, they came into this tournament after not even making it to playoffs in Americas. They have made Fnatic sweat more than most would expect. It's a great showing, but the fact is only one of them has made it into the playoffs here today. And well, it's a great day for EMEA. They will join Heretics as another of the squads to make it to playoffs.
What a debut though from MIBR on that champ stage. They looked absolutely clean in their opening matchup, but here pushing Fnatic the distance, making them sweat as you said, but it wasn't enough to claim the day. Fnatic now have time to prepare for playoffs. They have a little bit of a break, well earned after this series. They'll certainly need it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's going to be a lot of things they're going to talk about after the match, about maybe things that need to be changed, but we talk about this squad often, about the resilience that they had. And I think more importantly for Kayak, after a few dud maps throughout this tournament so far, in the last two, he was the difference maker. I think if he didn't have the performance on this map here, it could have been a very different story. And on the last map as well, a big part of that flawless attack side is he plays into that perfect system. Is this the best Fnatic have ever looked? Maybe not, but is it a team that's building their way into that championship form? I think so.
Certainly a step in the right direction for this squad. But for MIBR as well, are all signs pointing towards them being a strong contender here. That victory over BLG and a close one here against Fnatic, but it wasn't enough. In the end, Fnatic take the dub. It's time to go down to the stage where Crashies is standing by for the Verizon post-match interview.
Plaisir d'accueillir Crashies ici à Paris après cette victoire. Congratulations, Crashies. Thank you for joining me after that big victory and welcome to playoffs, first of all. And you know, we've seen a little bit of a sloppy start from you against MIBR. Even, you know, that end of the map was a bit hard, but you managed to win it. So what are the lessons that we're taking from this match ahead of playoffs?
I think we just started kind of slow, and they had a really good game plan on how we wanted to play Bind. And then we just had a good talk after their map 1 and like refocused and like really just brought a lot of energy.
Just got a little countered on Bind, let's say, right? Du coup, première question, on a vu que c'était un petit peu compliqué au début pour Fnatic, qui se sont inclinés sur leur choix de carte de Bind, ils arrivent à remonter derrière. Donc qu'est-ce qu'on retient un petit peu de ce match? Et bah tout simplement, ils avaient un très bon game plan pour counter le nôtre sur Bind. Donc voilà, on s'est remis en confiance après la première map. On a eu pas mal voilà, de gens qui sont intervenus et c'est allé bien mieux. And a few months ago, you dropped everything back in America to give it a try in Europe with Fnatic. So, you know, looking back at it, how has it been, you know, this journey as an import, let's say, up to Champs Paris?
It's been a crazy ride, honestly. Like I never would have expected like how this year went. I love my teammates and I love like every staff and the organization just gives us so much support, and it's been a surreal experience for me, and I'm just so grateful to be here. So.
And we're very proud to have you in Europe too, trust me. Donc deuxième question, Crashies a tout laissé derrière lui en Amérique pour venir tenter sa chance en Europe avec Fnatic. Donc qu'est-ce qui retient un petit peu de cette expérience cette année en tant qu'import? Et bah tout simplement, je le referai. J'adore mes teammates, j'adore tous les membres du staff qui sont avec moi, et c'est ça aussi qui rend l'aventure d'autant plus palpitante. And last but not least, finally, you know, we've seen Boaster, you know, dancing, Alpha waving. You do a little bit too, but Crashies, I need to ask you this: what would it take to see you dance on stage? We need that.
Maybe another grand finals. If we get in the grand finals, maybe we'll do some dancing, but from now on it's just like full energy, full hype, and yeah.
I'm keeping that in my mind. If he makes grand finals, we're gonna have a dancing Crashies on stage, hopefully. So, dernière question, qu'est-ce qu'il nous faudrait pour te voir danser sur scène comme Boaster? Et bah si on se qualifie en grande finale, je vais peut-être vous cook un petit quelque chose. Merci, thank you very much. Crashies, always a pleasure. Fnatic and Team Heretics have locked their spot in playoffs, and tomorrow is gonna be the time to discover who are gonna be our first eliminated teams from Champs Paris. See you tomorrow.
What a series that was. It's Yingsu and Doug here, joined by Chronicle. Always so punctual. Chron, please take a seat.
Yeah, join us.
There's a headset there. Oh, you got this, you got this. Yeah, chuck it on.
That's the right way.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
You alright? You good?
No.
What on earth was that series? What happened today? Bloody hell.
Honestly, I mean, they played really good. I think I played very shit.
No, Kron.
I mean,
you won the map.
You
won them the map.
I mean, it might be good that I won the last clutch, but I still think it was an off day for me. But overall, my team carried really hard me today. Like, they did a lot of good stuff, especially after the first map where we just figured out that we are doing something wrong, and we decided to fix it.
Now we hear, you know, your coach and some of your players talk about sometimes when teams run at you, when teams do things that are a bit unpredictable, you guys seem to struggle a little bit. What is the solve against the team that likes to just run at you, who are fearless? How did you actually recover after map 1?
Honestly, I have a good word for that in Russian, but I can't say it right now.
Oh.
It doesn't make sense. But basically,
you
know,
yeah.
I will just describe it like that. We just did the same a little bit.
Ah, fight fire with fire.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. Like, this is a good explanation. For example, me and Heaven, especially on defense, I knew they love to do some weird stuff, so I was just full taking an angle on them. Like, I was just not scared to take a duels against them, even though it could be like maybe sometimes unfair, but it's fine. Like, you sometimes need to show confidence on them, so they will start doing very confident moves against you.
Yeah, there were a couple of times where you would get these aggro lines and early peaks right before they were about to hit. So on defense, it looked great. I do want us to take a look at that clutch one more time. I mean, we were actually talking on
I
the
lost
desk.
my voice, yeah, when I saw this.
This 1v3, I mean, Aspas rolls out and it looks certain and it looks like we're going to go the distance. And then you get down to 46 HP after the first. 7 HP. 7. And then Cortesia swings out into you. What? I mean,
what did you say there?
Walk me through that play there. Walk me through what was going through your mind.
Honestly, I saw the smoke one way on me, and I said, oh, okay, we are maybe fucked a little bit. Because I knew, like, if Omen will still insta-hold me, I will be, like, it will be a hard time for me. Yeah. But thankfully, he didn't do it at the start. Okay, like I still knew probably someone should be Garage, unless they obviously fake the control of Garage at the end, like they went free CET, doesn't matter. But thankfully, Xenon picked up the right timing. Aspas did a solo swing, didn't wait for his guy. I was like, that might be my opportunity to win the round. And I think Cortesia, when he started spamming the wall, thinking like he'll hit the shot, like it was maybe a pretty good decision considering that I was low.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out. At the end, I knew the position where he was swinging on Lance. It's perfect. I can just one-tap him after that.
The confidence, the aura.
I mean, honestly, I think they actually played it really well, especially Aspas did a really great 2K. But it is unlucky. It just sometimes like happens. They also were winning some good, maybe sometimes lucky rounds against us when we were playing on attack side, like just like doing random swings or doing some very confident stuff again, like unpredictable as you said. I mean, it is what it is. We did it better.
What were you screaming at them about? I think all 5 of you screamed, so I might have to ask all of you what you were saying.
I say it on Russian, sit the fuck down. Because Cortesia, I'm tired of Cortesia standing up all the time. Like
he does stand up a lot.
I mean, obviously, I'm doing it as a joke. Like I know, like he's just cheating up his team, and like it's actually super cool move. But honestly, I'm tired of this bullshit. If he wants to stand up, then I'll just scream at him so he will stop doing that against us at least, maybe.
I want to get your thoughts on this. We were talking about this earlier on the desk. My last cast of yours was G2, Fnatic, in Seoul, the 3K on Bind, coming out of showers. Now, you 3K to send MIBR away, send them in a lower bracket while you advance to playoffs. Dude, what is it about you in clutches? Or how do you consistently pull off stuff like this?
I think also I think it's way too complex thing to answer about because it's a big chunk of things I do in the game like that makes me do this place all the time. I would say mostly again is just like that. I'm not scared to take a big risk sometimes. For example, again in that clutch 1v3, it could be a huge risk to like jump through this one way and hoping like the guy will not hold me, but I will take better position. Maybe I can help my teammates in that. Like, sadly, I couldn't help my teammates, but at the end, I won the clutch because I did a very risky move. Even though, like, other stuff, what I could do. Maybe I could go back instantly just to play for the spike.
Sure.
Or maybe I will just play. I'm trying to spam around the smoke, maybe hoping I will get the frag, but I'm not doing that. I'm just doing very straightforward risk. And it was always like that. For example, taking maybe also like unexpected angles like that also are kind of risky because in that like 1v3 clutch on Bind, as you remember, I was staying on quite a strange angle.
Yes.
But at the same time, it helped me. Like I knew like they probably like 3 showers. They want to pick out from the other wall, and like I just spammed all 3 of them in one line, even while being full flashed. I'm just not like scared to take any risks or like trying to do something maybe more proactive than usual.
I'm never gonna get that out of my brain. It's like singed into my brain. Now, usually we see Alpha and Boaster go for Malaban day before game. It's like a ritual. You went along this time. Why did you go along with them?
You think it was the thing that make me off today?
No. I mean, it's usually a buff, right, for Alpha Boaster. It's like they like to go fill their stomachs with extremely spicy Chinese food.
Right.
But Kron, you don't usually go with them. So
wait,
I mean, I don't go.
What compelled you to go?
But I don't go with them. But I go with my wife almost every day.
Okay.
I mean, I think you know as well about it. We are walking to our Malaban place near us in Berlin almost every second, third day.
You do like Malaban as well?
Of course, of course.
I've also been with your wife.
But I'm a big meat lover. I don't like vegetables. I'm only eating meat.
Wait, what did you fill your bowl with?
With a lot of spicy beef, shrimps, sometimes also just if I don't have shrimps. Obviously noodles or ramen or instant noodles, but I prefer instant noodles. Some sort of vegetables actually. I'll have to put carrots, potatoes.
You need to go, Doug.
And maybe celery.
I mean, he's selling me.
We should take you.
I'm down.
But let's take a look at the bracket because 3 teams have 4 even teams, I can't count, have made it to playoffs already, which means there's only 4 slots left. Doug, I'm not going to see you for a while, so can you just, you're doing so well in predictions.
Yeah.
So can you just like fire them off real quick before you go so we could get your takes?
All right.
Who's making?
Between Sentinels.
Let's go.
Group A.
Yeah.
Sentinels.
Okay.
Group B.
I think I've seen them.
Okay.
And then Group C, who was it? It was EDG. It's
the EDG Liquid and the DRX.
EDG.
Oh. I don't want to be in that group.
Honestly, that was a tough group.
Yeah, what do you think? I want to say DRX, but
I will cheer for my guys. I will say Liquid.
Okay.
I'd rather Liquid would win, but I think EDG would win.
Gambit boys in playoffs. That'd be crazy.
And then the last group.
Sentinels are winning that XLG.
G2. I don't even need to know who else is there. I think they'll be fine.
I didn't even have to finish that off.
G2 win.
And yeah, Kron, you know, you've been here quite a few times. Playoffs, Champs, Masters, lock-in, all sorts. Does it ever feel different? Is it always the same or is it always different?
I think it's always the same.
Yeah?
I mean, honestly, in the Gambit, I played the 1 champs, I played the 3 champs already with Fnatic, and honestly, like, I see the same things happening all the time. Against us, people play like, I'm not saying they're playing the same, but I see the same pattern, same mistakes. I see the same mistakes in our team as well. Yeah. I can't deny that as well, but I mean, honestly, like, if you fix a lot of these mistakes, that's how you become a champion. Also, maybe some also luck included, but I mean, doesn't matter really. Like, you can't win champs just because of one day or like some other stuff. You just have to be good consistently in order to win it. And I think this time we are ready for doing that, but we also have to prove it.
I mean, he's the king of consistency. We were talking about it earlier in the desk before you joined us and just how decorated of a career you've had. And I mean, to say that consistency really is the key certainly bodes well for you and really for the rest of the squad.
Is it always the same for you as well? Coming to these events? Like, for him,
no.
I feel like it's always different, right?
Yeah,
for us.
1000%.
It's
always different for
different.
us. Yeah, it's always a wild ride.
Yeah, well, it's been a pleasure, Doug. Thank you very much for joining me, and shout out to Ender as well. Thank you, Kron. Congratulations. Enjoy your break.
Thank you so much.
Much needed break and well earned as well. You guys, come back tomorrow because we have more Valorant action, more buying games, and more qualification on the line. So have a lovely evening, and we'll see you then. Despite being one of the best from their own regions, Heretics have never faced T1 before. What a treat for us that they get to fight for playoffs on the most important stage in Valorant.
Another grab next here. Combined time for Minibu to set up. He'll send a nade in now and a light down onto the side. Spots Isu, instantly dispatches him. And Minibu has just out water. And you've got a juggernaut out there on A. Still got the overdrive to go with you. Minibu catches out DH. Breaks down to a cacophony of action as throughout and fight 2 with the Sheriff. But still fighting here at Rebel. And Boo's the only one that stands in his way, but he's been chucked down to 9. This could go either way. The bus will exit with 4. Demon Unchained at Rubble. That was Boo down, Spike down yet again. Rian's up on the corner. Buzzblow makes a swing for it and takes Vivian out of the game. And it's all on Rian's. Smokes here for DH now. Horn thrown out. Rian gets contact.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? Once again, Rian's genetically engineered to dominate the game has won the map for Heretics.
T1 are constantly finding themselves hitting into stacks.
And no one's looking at the Al drone, though. They've only got eyes for Buzz, who lights up the stage, steps out, finds his third.
And it's all in the hands of Boo, the IGL.
Sees Buzz first, breaks up the 1v1. T1 can't swing him at the same time. They've got to go for the spike. Has to clutch from low health. Gets into half. Boo, does he have a sense for this timing? He's around the open, the correction is there. Man, a few words, but clutches that one at count.
He's bought time though, his teammates are here and there's 15 seconds to plan.
Here it is, Annabelle, where they're going to go. Hunter's through from Rien's nose, as DH is in the back of the side, and Benji for 3! Too bad! Los Niños have advanced to playoffs at Champions 25.
Very few can live up to the rivalry of Aspas versus Fnatic. This is for a spot at playoffs in Champs Paris, but this time around, the players next to Aspas are not the familiar ones we're used to seeing on Loud.
Fnatic don't need to with the man advantage. That's quickly faded away, though. MIBR, they're rolling all over this A site.
He is just having one hell of a round.
Aspas falls with the wall bang. Verno doing a ton of damage. He'll take down Kayak, and he leaves Boaster. A huge opportunity. Valfa regenning his health and dropping Verno. They could clean up the rest of the kills on the site, and it ends up 1 versus 1. Cortesia alone. Alpha's close on the site, in that corner, just to his left, crouched down. The read is there, and so is the round for MIBR.
Look at me, Alpha. You like to say that?
MIBR 13-5. It's decimation on map number 1. Because it's such a direct hit, they have so much utility to work with, but they can't use it just yet. The spam from Verno working wonders. Now the pressure mounting for Fnatic as Shannon finds one to spray! In this world of chaos, Verno is the camp.
They can't expect anybody to be here, but they've been able to find the early trades. The stun was decent, but it doesn't matter, but now it's all up to Boaster. In that backline again with the operator, facing off against a man who is a master of that gun. But that time is ticking desperately low, and he does not blink.
Come on, man. Your pick, bro.
The retakes haven't worked, and now it's time to fight for this ground. There's some utility to cover the fallback, and Aspas makes it out, but they've lost Shannon. Fnatic haven't overcommitted as before, and now the A site's open for the rotate. 12 seconds, Spike down. They need to deal with Cortesia, and they will. 7 seconds, Spike makes it to site, and a plant will be secured. Fnatic can still end it here. Aspas, the last man standing, the final hope of MIBR on this map, and the flawless streak continues for Fnatic. A dominant showing, a bounce back for the ages on Abyss. Weakens up Crashies, but Kayak, each barrel as deadly as the next. He set them up for success, and Althier's hammered it home.
Fighting this 2 through, it's a big fight. Cortesia's made it through. I don't know if the barrel was actually spotted, it was. And the Snake Fighters bought a little bit of extra time, but Boaster is there. Fairly stacked up sight, and this is the amount of times that a player has been caught by that peak. Well, Shannon's actually just going to go back in for more. He's going back in for everything.
And the same here. Boaster's setting up utility. There's no one even close by. Shannon's in with a 4K, and these have been big momentum builders. This started out terribly. They had to climb their way back in. And the slide in from Aspas may undo all their hard work. Chronicle in a 1 versus 1. A shot to lock in playoffs, and he will strike the final blow. 2-1. Fnatic win it with the Red Bull clutch.
And GG, thank you for watching.